Hey there, it's your friend Stormy Warren here, and I want to invite you to my new home, the Big 615, exclusively on TuneIn. It's the official home of country music broadcasting live from Nashville to the world. Get the latest on country music, from your favorite artists to the hottest songs climbing up the charts. Oh, and it's commercial-free. Hear it all on the Stormy Warren Show, weekdays from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central. Download the free TuneIn app from the App Store. That's TuneIn. Or ask your device to play the Big 615 on TuneIn.
Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 18, episode number 3,874. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and my cock, Montgomery, and you, Hardman Drill. On tap today, Ron Castle joins us once again. We will sit and spin. It is tax day, so today we get 10 songs about paying taxes. Yay. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, a Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack.
Drink and a drive. All right, here we go. A woman employed at Buffalo Wild Wings really wanted a day off work. 300 million in cocaine confiscated in Italy, officials said with a smirk. Bear in BC breaks into car and drinks 69 cans of Coke. A zookeeper saves a panda with a Heimlich maneuver, and that is no joke. A big 500-pounder. And a pizza delivery driver opens up a can of Kung Fu on a car thief. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, former Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson made the news this weekend. No, it was not another bad ad for Subway or some corny-ass video of him saying, "That's right." No, Wilson made headlines after he flipped a golf cart after crashing said golf cart into a bunker, because, you know, they just come out of nowhere. There were no injuries, but he did crash. But before you make fun of him, let's be fair. On average, there are over 5,250,800 vehicular crashes a year in the United States alone. Over 5,250,000. Just yesterday in Seattle's Ballard neighborhood, someone lost control of their car. They crashed into the local library. Not a good look, but I'd rather crash into a library than say, police headquarters. A 71-year-old man in Philadelphia accidentally crashed his minivan into the Philadelphia police headquarters. Now, it was not intentional, but they arrested his ass and hit him with 4 different charges. But odds are, if you drive, you will eventually crash into something. A man driving an SUV in Colombia, he crashed into, you got it, a hippopotamus. It was one of the offspring of Pablo Escobar's so-called cocaine hippos. The thing weighed 2 tons, but in spite of that, the hippo didn't make it. The driver did. But then there are stories of drivers who don't make it, not because they crashed, but because they tried to avoid a collision. A guy in Florida had the misfortune of being in Florida. You see, he swerved to avoid another driver. Yeah, he ended up in an alligator-infested retention pond. Things did not end well for him. But today we're talking about crashes, collisions, sideswipes, slams. Inevitably, either you've been responsible, someone has hit you, you've been a passenger. But this isn't about crashing into another vehicle. Oh, no. Sometimes that just happens. Today, we want to know this. Other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
What you watch depends on what kind of mood you're in. Sometimes you're craving comedies like Friends or South Park, and sometimes you're more into dramas like HBO's Succession and House of the Dragon. There's also cooking shows like Chopped and Beat Bobby Flay, and even movies like The Lord of the Rings and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Well, Max is the streaming destination that has the best of entertainment for whatever mood you're in anytime. And plans start at as little as $9.99 a month. Max, the one to watch. Subscription required. Visit max.com.
Hi, I'm Allie Raisman. I've been living with migraine for a while. As an athlete and gymnast, I was taught to just power through the pain. Now I use Ubrelvy or Ubrogepant to treat my migraine attacks. As soon as I feel a migraine attack, I take Ubrelvy, which provides me with quick relief. Once I get relief, I go on with my day. I'm partnering with Ubrelvy to share my migraine story.
Ubrelvy quickly stops migraine in its tracks within 2 hours without worrying where you are. Most people had pain relief, and some even had pain freedom within 2 hours. Ubrelvy treats migraine attacks in adults and is not for prevention. It's available by prescription only. Do not take with strong CYP3A4 inhibitors or if allergic to Ubrelvy. Allergic reactions can happen and may occur hours to days after use. Get medical help right away if you have swelling of the face, mouth, tongue, or throat, or trouble breathing. The most common side effects were nausea and sleepiness.
My hope is that by sharing my migraine story and the relief I get from Ubrelvy, it can help someone else.
Ask your doctor about Ubrelvy, the anytime, anywhere migraine medicine. Find more product information at ubrelvy.com or call 844-4-UBRELVY. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Hold my jaws, away we go. Welcome to Season 18, Episode number 3874. What a large and a charged program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. Today is tax day. Yay for that. Ryan Council coming in will sit and spend the day with 10 songs about paying taxes. Even the rich musicians out there bitch about having to pay all those taxes.
I don't know, I feel terrible for them.
And I'll tell you something else. As far as their world is concerned, you have to remember every single time that they go on tour, wherever they stop, the taxes are different in each and every state. Mm-hmm. So if they pay shows in California, you're paying California taxes.
Right.
If you move over to Nevada, whatever those taxes are. So I cannot imagine the nightmare of being a touring anything, comedian, musician, whoever you are, and having all of these different states where you have earned income. Because your taxes have to be a complete disaster to try to do.
I'm pretty sure they're not doing it on TurboTax.
They are not.
I'm just guessing.
And I'm sure they have people to do it, and they are very wealthy, and they are very successful at what they do, but at the same point in time, I would not want to have anything to do with that mess.
I would if I get their money. I'm Kevin Hart.
Yes.
I got paid $20 million to go on tour, and the worst thing I have to do is figure, all right, man, we played in 18 states. Make sure you get this show right for how much we made of this show. Pay your Illinois. Cool. Right. I'm all right with that.
You spend, I don't know, Kevin Hart, you spend 4 months in Vancouver, BC, filming a movie. Guess who you got to pay taxes to? The Canadian government.
No problem.
But you're not getting health care, you see. You're not getting all the benefits.
Does he, though?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you earn money.
Right, but I'm saying, like, I feel like I could film something in Canada and be like, pay me in America.
You'll get paid by, say, Disney, right?
Yeah, somebody's paying. Don't get me wrong. Somebody's paying the taxes.
Sure. Like, but that's a nice. I don't feel bad for them.
Yeah.
At all.
No.
At all.
10 songs about paying taxes coming up on Sit and Spin with Ryan Castle. What else do we have for you today? The Men's Room Happy Hour. We go to exclusively the Odyssey app for more Men's Room every Monday through Friday at 6. Join us for the Men's Room Happy Hour. Keep in mind, if you go to the Men's Room page, you will find that it only goes live at 6. There's a reason it's labeled explicit based on the content and the language involved in that. And today we get cracking on Men's Room Happy Hour, episode number 368.
Oh, get cracking,
We're going to get cracking. That's exactly right. Get cracking on the Happy Hour.
Cracking.
There's so much stuff to talk about. I don't even know if we have time on the show. This Saturday, for the first time ever, the Men's Room World Tour from 3 till 6.
That is right.
It is our first stop on the World Tour. Muckleshoot Casino. Dead Rebel Saints will be playing. We'll have Men's Room Original Ale from Elysian. We will have Uli's Men's Room Sausage. And we'll have San Juan Salsa, the Men's Room Roasted style for you as well. Keep in mind, the fine folks at The Advocate said the first 99 people that show up, they're going to buy you your first sausage. So
That is very kind of you.
That's all going down. It's absolutely free, by the way. We are, if we hadn't explained it to you, we used to do a Red Festival every year. We decided to take that show on the road to various locations throughout the course of the year. So instead of you having to drive a long way to come see us, hopefully we can get close enough to you where you can make it happen for, an hour or two or whatever. You can stop by, catch some live local music. Absolutely free, as of usual.
Oh, yeah.
Usual.
Show up.
Yeah, just show up.
That's all you have to do.
Gamble a little, have a good time, man. We'll hang out at Muckleshoot, and it's going to be a good time. It's 3 till 6 on Saturday, the Men's Room World Tour.
And Miles, that's a good call. We'll be there from 3 to 6, but you show up a little earlier, get a beverage,
hang out,
roll some dice.
Oh yeah,
go there, do whatever, get some lunch early.
Hot hand at a dice game.
Why not? What else do we have for you today? Oh my God, there's so much stuff going on. Concert announcement this morning with BJ and Miggs, Greta Van Fleet coming to Climate Pledge Arena. That show is a Friday night. August the 4th. Finally.
They got it right.
We got a Friday night concert with Greta Van Fleet.
We have, 2 Monday night concerts we're going to?
Yeah. I believe the last time, to give you an idea of the success of Greta Van Fleet, when they first came into town, I could be wrong, I believe the first time they played the Tractor Tavern. I believe the second time,
something like that, yeah.
They played the Paramount Theater. I'm pretty sure this is their third or maybe fourth stop in Seattle, and now they're playing Climate Pledge Arena on Friday night.
Good Lord, man.
Very brief period of time. Those kids have done very well. And they make great music, and they got a new album coming out.
They're nice guys, man. We had a bass player in here, and the bass player annoyed me because he was a good-looking dude who's 19. Like, you just knew. Like, he's about to get more ass in the next hour and a half than the rest of us will see in our life.
And I'm sure he is, yeah.
Oh, dude, he comes strolling in. He had, perfect hair, good-looking guy, real nice, smart. I'm just like, kiss my.
Yeah, he's one of the brothers. Sam plays bass.
Yeah, one of the brothers.
He's one of the few bassists that get laid.
That's true. That's true.
On a regular basis, just based on looks alone, he's a good-looking guy. Mm-hmm. So it's not the instrument in this case. He overcomes the battle of being a bassist.
I think Nikki Sixx did all right.
Nikki Sixx did very well.
I bet you, actually, on that note, typically the singers and the guitar players probably get the most ass. We know Vince Neil and his big ass probably got laid, but I'm saying Mick Mars did the worst in that band.
Well, I would guess so,
even during her heyday.
my goodness.
He's never been a good-looking dude. You know what I mean?
He looked like a lizard when he was 25.
Remember the thing with Mick Mars, though? It's right, in Nicky's book, right, the Heroin Diaries, he brings up the fact that, they got pissed at Mick Mars because they had a rule. Don't hook up with any of the backup dancers or singers.
Right. He married her.
So Mick Mars ends up liking this girl, marries her, and they're like, Mick, you're the worst.
Yeah, now we don't have a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, come on.
He's probably, dude, guys, look at me.
It's like you broke the one.
I'm happy now.
It's like you guys are on heroin and banging every girl you can find. Can I hook up with the one girl?
Poor, ugly dude found the love of his life on tour, got married. I believe they're still married.
I believe they are, too.
No? Really?
Oh.
I don't believe so.
Oh,
Mike's looked it up.
Oh,
okay.
wow.
That's a confident no.
My wife is a major Motley Crue fan, and she is the worst person alive. Not my wife.
Wow.
The guy that broke up.
Oh, wow.
That might be a hell of a recycle.
Okay, all right. Ask your wife this tonight. In order of the guys in Motley Crue, who would she have sex with?
Nikki is the first one on that list.
Really? Bass player. I bet you Mick is fourth.
I believe so. Well,
yes.
Okay, it depends on which Vince. Because I'm pretty sure it would
Does it matter
which Vince?
It would go Nikki and Tommy.
Sure.
Tommy scares the living daylights out of her because she's seen the videos, right? Vince back in...
That says a lot about you, Mike. Look at the size of his penis, Mike.
I'm terrified of that.
Don't think just because Vince looks different that Vince isn't the same person that he's always been.
I'm sure that's right, but he was at least attractive back when they were first out.
All right, but this is the biggest, you have to take that into consideration sometimes when you're going out with somebody, even if you're just hooking up. Is this a true D-bag or not? And I think that, and I'm not saying that.
But do you care? Right? Look, man, I don't know. Who's Lizzie Hale comes to town. She treats you like absolute garbage, even spits on you backstage. No one knows. She walks off stage, says, Miles, let's have sex. You've been there in a heartbeat. She can be the worst person. Right. She's very nice. But she could bitch slap you with a hot skillet, but if at the end of the show she says, meet me in the dressing room, you're taking your ass.
That's a grunge one, though.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's fine. Yeah. You're not doing it because you want to.
Vince Neil.
I know.
Even your story about when he's kind of going through that low period, it's right, well, he still had chicks with him in a bar.
Yeah. Yes. You couldn't get paid because he was doing coke and having sex over the owner's desk in the office.
Right.
And you had to wait for him to finish.
I would be recording something on my phone to blackmail him. Right. You know what I mean?
He wouldn't
call me the N-word. You want this? Call me the N-word. I'm going to stop.
Jesus.
Now I got you. TMZ.
Aggressive.
That's how Miles gets laid.
So here's how you're going to win those tickets to Greta Van Fleet, right?
Emphasis on black.
What they said was, we have a code word. All right. Now you're going to text the code word to 206-803-ROCK. They asked us to pick a random time each day during the week. So here's what we've got today. At 4:20. 4:20. At 4:20, which is, by the way, Thursday, we will give you the code word. When you hear the code word, you text that to 206-803-ROCK for your chance to win tickets to Greta Van Fleet. And today on our question, other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? We start with a story out of Colombia. A hippopotamus descended from animals illegally brought to Colombia by the late drug kingpin Pablo Escobar has died in a collision with an SUV on a highway near Escobar's hacienda. The hippos, which spread from the estate into nearby rivers and now number more than 100, have no natural predators in Colombia.
What are a natural predator of a hippo in Africa?
I don't
Seriously,
know.
What hunts a hippo? What actively would seek out a hippopotamus, which notoriously has a terrible attitude, right? Probably outweighs you. What is its natural predator?
The only thing that I can think of that I've seen a picture of, I saw a picture of like a 40 or 50 foot long python, anaconda, whatever the hell.
It went after a hippo?
No, I just saw a photo of this thing. So I'm trying to think what is big enough to actually try to maybe restrict around something like that and kill it.
But hippos are so fierce. All right, what do you got, Ted?
They say Nile crocodiles, lions, and spotted hyenas are known to prey on young hippos.
Young hippos.
Yeah, but you're right. Adult hippos are not usually preyed upon by any other animal due to their aggression and size.
Yeah.
This hippo, they say, could have weighed 2 tons. The vehicle occupants were unharmed in the accident in the northwest part of the highway. The hippopotamus died immediately afterward and was removed to be analyzed. This is one of the dangers that this presents with this species. Many of them cross the highway where many vehicles pass. It's also a danger to people. Hippos are unpredictable. At any moment, they can attack a person. A group of them were brought in the 1980s to that area where Escobar's private zoo was held and became a tourist attraction even after his death in 1993. Residents in a nearby town have become used to hippos, sometimes just roaming freely around the town. They see them all the time. So SUV into a hippo, which is a pretty crazy situation.
That hippo thing down there is a real issue.
Oh, yeah. It is. Because they can't. Now, what's the deal with that? So he brought over a bunch. There's like 100 of them now. The thing about hippos, again, with having no natural predators, they say like it changes the ecosystem just based on what their behavior is. But can you not hunt them, or
it's hard to do? Then basically, here was the deal. Some of the hippos got out, right? And then there was only a few of them, so they weren't worried about it. They're related, but they started breeding.
Okay. So those are like inbred hippos at that.
Correct. And they have different things they're used to. Like basically, they might have diseases in them. If you put them in Africa, they would get all the rest of the hippos sick. So they couldn't just ship them to a place where hippos belong. Then people started kind of trying to hunt them, and then people were like, you can't just kill the hippos.
So they tried what do you want to do? What do you want to, if you're going to complain about them? It's not like I'm all about, hey, let's go slaughter hippos. But it's like, look.
Well, they tried to castrate them, but the problem was.
That had to be fun.
Catching a hippo and holding it down and performing this surgery is very hard. I know it costs a ton of money.
So he wakes up during that surgery and realizes what you're trying to do. Yeah. That is the end of you.
Yeah. I do know for a fact that if you are inbred in West Virginia, you start a family band. So that's probably what they do. Like, hey, everybody get down. We're the hippo inbred family band. All right, here we go. All right, let's break it down.
The musical hippos in Colombia.
Thank y'all for coming out tonight. We're the inbred hippie band.
Now, this is the hippos in Colombia.
Frankie, your guitar.
There was a headline 2 weeks ago that said America's most inbred family from West Virginia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Have you seen that?
I did. I clicked on that article. But that's the same problem with these hippos, man. They're inbred hippos that are different. And the other thing, too, is because there's nothing to eat the baby hippos, and there's grasslands. They just keep eating and getting bigger and, like, tougher.
So big, fat, inbred, angry-ass hippos. Like, that's a problem.
1, 2, 3, 4.
They sure can play a mean banjo.
I tell you what, I come every Thursday night, man. Tacos and hippos.
I'd go to a bar that had tacos and hippos on Thursday night.
On Thursday specifically.
Yeah.
Them inbred hippos, man.
Can't do those Tuesday hippos.
Been a long few months. Better head on down to tacos and hippos.
Those boys can break it down.
They just play Queen.
Yeah. Now we head down to Florida. This
or AC/DC.
This story has many questions.
All right,
many questions. According to the Florida Highway Patrol, Mario Laza lost control of his minivan. He was trying to avoid another driver on the Florida Turnpike. Laza and a passenger, they ended up in a retention pond underwater that was alligator infested. Now, multiple alligators were spotted nearby in the water, but that did not stop first responders from working quickly to try to remove the victims.
Do we know that, or did they just write that?
Snipers stood guard ready to shoot and kill alligators as divers searched the pond. Oh, you got me in the thigh! You know, like, I mean,
but they're stealthy. I mean,
yeah, right.
I don't know, man. If I'm a first responder, and I understand the snipers there, but once you tell me, hey, it's alligator infested, but you need to give me 2 minutes.
Passenger was Laza's 80-year-old mother. She survived and remained hospitalized. But either way, there's no word on how he passed. They crash into a pond. It's one thing to hit a tree. It's one thing to hit something solid. I'm just wondering what the impact was. Or did he have a heart attack? Or did he get eaten by a crocodile?
Look, he swerved to avoid a vehicle. The vehicle went off the road, went into the retention pond full of alligators. So they don't mention any kind of impact. They don't mention any specific crash, right? You know what I mean? So what I'm hearing is he avoided the vehicle. He did not crash, but he ended up in a retention pond. But they keep pointing out that it's alligator infested. So
this is you and you live, right? Let's say you fly through the air and you land in the alligator infested retention pond. Do you? And water's coming in the car. And you don't know how deep the water is, so you don't know.
I roll up my windows.
You do not know if the car will be completely submerged or not. The problem is, if you do roll down the windows immediately, that lessens the chance of, well, it gives you another opportunity to escape and get out of the car. Oftentimes, when a car goes underwater, the batteries get affected. You can't electronically roll down your windows.
Sure.
You should be able to open your doors, but if your doors lock when you close them electronically, again, once the system goes down, you might be able to do it manually, maybe not.
But there's alligators on the other side of my door and window.
So do you stay in the car with the windows rolled up? Now, the water is at window level, so an alligator could just come through the window and take your head off, right?
Right. If your window's open.
If your window's open. Do you try to get out and swim to shore? Do you try to swim out of the car and then up on top of the roof? However, if the car continues to submerge, you are in the same situation you were if you try to swim for it, because that's all you can really do.
I mean, your option...
And you got your 80-year-old mother in the car.
Okay, I push my mom out first to see where the alligators are. Like, but you've led a long, healthy life. Hey, man, you're the bait. Let's see how this goes.
The car could not have gone that far into the retention pond.
It's a retention pond.
I realize they were on an interstate. But even if they're going 55 miles an hour or whatever, I can't imagine they're out there more than, say, 50 feet within the distance of the shore.
Yeah,
let's skip
it's
like
not
around.
like they say there were alligator. They specifically say alligator infested, which in Florida, if you have to add the word infested after alligator, that tells me there's an S ton of them in there. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, all right, we're in the car, we're sinking, all right? We know we're sinking. The pond can only be but so deep, but the windows are up, doors are closed. But I'm thinking, like, bro, everywhere I look, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of gators in there.
Not only that, but if you do sink with the windows rolled up,
I'm waiting it out.
Then you see all the alligators swimming around you.
That's fine. It's like going to the aquarium.
I don't know.
I'm staying in the car because, look, the first responders are coming, in theory. I'm going to bide my time for a minute and think about this. Because once I roll down those windows or open the door, like, you are committed to this decision.
But you're underwater.
I just feel like the water's getting in somehow.
There's not going to be a scuba diver that's going to go down that door.
If Ted's right and the water's already coming in, then we got to swim for it. Either we're going to drown, or if the windows and doors are all sealed up, I think we have to have a discussion like, all right, Ted, you're going to try to swim for it, Ted? I'm not feeling that. I say we try to wait this out.
I'll take the chances of fighting with an alligator in the water as opposed to drowning to death in a car.
Here's my theory. I backstroke it out. I want to be able to see what's coming up behind me, and if something's coming, I want to be able to kick it.
What about the ones behind you?
I can't worry about them.
Okay, that's a great play.
If they come, at least I didn't see it happen.
I'm going freestyle, just trying to get the hell out of that pond.
I'm going as fast as I can.
Yeah.
Period.
Are you doing the regular stroke where you breathe?
Yes.
Or are you keeping your head up?
I'm doing the breathe, man. I'm just trying to get the hell out of there.
Right. I'm just putting my head down in the water, like get to the shore.
I think I might do the butterfly just to show off.
It's the last thing Miles
look at me.
I can swim, alligators.
He butterflied out of there. I'll be damned. Our question, other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? 206-803-ROCK.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
A question other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? 206-803-ROCK. Hello, Jordan. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
Now, this isn't my vehicle per se, but I was on said vehicle. It was my Navy ship. We were out of Japan. This is 2015. Middle of the night, steaming, another ship in front of us. And, we hit something. It turned out to be a bloated, dead whale right in the middle of the ocean.
Ooh, what kind of whale was it? Do you know?
Hopefully not the endangered kind, but it was already dead. I have to make that absolutely clear.
Well,
it was already dead.
Well, no, wait, what would happen to the Navy? You know, this big-ass Navy boat, you hit an endangered whale. Obviously, that's not your goal. I mean, is there some punishment that would come down?
We do have stipulations and procedures about how to avoid items, but you got to remember, this is the middle of the pitch black dark of night in the middle of the ocean, and if it's not moving and not making any sound, you don't know it's there.
So when you hit it, if I'm on the ship and we hit this dead-ass bloated whale, would I know that we hit something? Was it big enough for that?
Well, it's funny you should say that because I just happened to be positioned in the very front of the ship about 3 decks down, and so when we're sitting there doing our thing, all of a sudden you hear a thunk.
See, in my world...
And then another thunk, because its tail is just flapping against the ship.
Now, did you visually see this? Like when you go out to check, you can look at this dead whale as you're just like pushing it through the water?
We had to come to an all stop. We get up there, we got lights shine down, and yep, there it is. And the funniest thing is, the ship that was in front of us, and our little message traffic to each other, they said, hey, look out for that whale.
Okay. Well, here's what I don't understand.
It wasn't my department who monitored that chat, though.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. If I go out fishing on my buddy's boat, he's got a depth finder with a fish finder on it that can go down 200, 300 feet and basically let you know where the fish are. If there's a big blob down there, you see it. You see, like, all these cloud-type formations, which are either schools of fish or something else or whatever. How in the hell does the Navy not have sonar that can detect something in the water in front of them, especially in an era where there used to be, countless mines and mine sweepers in that area? From World War II to Japan.
Well, that's the thing. Your buddy's sonar is not necessarily active, but for us, we had to have been active to see anything like that. If it's already making noise, we can hear it. But if it's
dead,
it's not.
Right.
You're not going to see it.
It more than likely already got hit by a boat. I mean, half the time when one of them washes up around here, they all say, like, I probably got hit by a boat.
How big do you think this whale was?
It's already on the surface. It's already on the surface. You got the ocean wave crashing again, so you have all this other interference to prevent you from actually seeing it.
Gotcha. How big do you think this whale was?
I couldn't tell you. It was bloated, half eaten. I'm surprised it hadn't even sunk to the bottom yet.
So it didn't explode when the boat hit it?
No.
That's
we weren't going that fast.
They fill up with gas.
Yeah.
So when they die, that's why when they shot that whale on the beach in Oregon, it absolutely exploded. And they have a huge internal cavity on the inside of them.
Right.
I don't know if you saw that episode of The Boys, but the boat went in and they're all just sitting on the inside of the whale.
Right.
I'm sure that's accurate. But, they fill up with gas. So then they finally do blow. It's amazing it didn't explode when you hit it.
So then what do? You come to an all stop? You, nudge the thing out of the way? You just wait for the waves to take it away or what?
I don't know how we got it off. I just know it no longer was on the front of the boat.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm the captain of a Navy ship. All right, look, we hit the dead whale. Well, we got to keep going, man. What else are we going to... The thing's already dead. I don't know what you do to get it off.
As long as it's not hanging off the boat, no harm, no foul.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We'll keep
You hit a dead whale. It's like you hit a dead deer.
Exactly.
With your car. Hopefully you didn't do any damage to the car, but the deer's in the road and it's dead.
I was weird, man, driving through Colorado and New Mexico this last week. So, like anything, we're on I-25. There's nothing. There's no civilization. And we get the, deer crossing sign. No big deal. We drive about 20 miles. We cross this bridge. Then there is a bear crossing sign.
All right.
Which makes sense. I've just never physically seen a bear crossing sign. About 10 miles down the road from there was a moose crossing sign. I did not realize there were moose in that part of the country.
All right.
Because I asked my parents about it. I said, man, we were in New Mexico at this point. When I think moose, it's definitely north of here. My dad said, yeah, me too. And so I saw these goddamn signs. He goes, apparently, we got moose down there, and you don't want to hit them.
That is weird.
And then, as he pointed out, the worst one is the falling rock sign. You go, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Nothing.
You're going to die.
Hey, look up.
Yeah.
Just in case.
And sometimes when, falling rocks and boulders, I was going to Leavenworth once, and the whole highway was stopped. And I'm like, what? There's a boulder fell. I was like, how big can it be? I'm going to take this weird detour in the middle of the night. It's kind of scary.
Sure.
And then I found out the next day, they're like, oh, it was the size of a bus. Like a school bus.
Did it hit anyone?
No.
Okay.
You just had to take this weird... I mean, I don't know. If you've ever driven over Route 2 at night when it's snowing, it's already kind of sketchy.
Right.
Then you get down there and you're going up these other windy mountain roads and you're just like a state trooper with like a flare on the side, like showing you where to go. I mean, it looked like a horror film.
Yeah, I would not. I white knuckled it all the way back through Blewett Pass and through Snoqualmie Pass, and I thought I was going to die.
Yeah,
I really did.
That seems to be the general sentiment.
I'm going to die. This is ridiculous. Other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? 206-803-ROCK.
Guess who it is, Ted?
James.
James, welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
Well, I was hanging out with a buddy of mine. We were golfing and having a good time. It was kind of hot during the summer, and I've been drinking all day, and ended up driving back up to Tacoma area and went to visit another buddy, and he wasn't home, but there's a house on fire right close to his house, and there's a big fire truck and everything, and so I ended up heading back towards my house, and I was in a van, and it had no center, and it had no console, it was just bucket seats, and I wanted to turn left to go to turn the corner, and my cell phone slipped off my lap onto the floor, so I reached down to pick it up with my right hand, and I slid off the front of the seat because I had to scoot forward. I pulled my left hand the steering. I'm sitting down on the floor. My left arm pulls the steering wheel. I go straight through this fence, over this rock garden area, and then bump into into a gas line, a gas meter.
Hang on.
Come on, James.
We know you're thinking that.
7 words you can't say on the radio. Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now back to the program.
All right, James, please continue.
Anyway, so I was sitting there, and I thought, oh, what am I going to do? And it was the funniest thing was I was sitting on the floor as I went through the fence. I could see the boards go across my windshield, and I'm trying to get to the brake to push on the brake, and I did I split the fence exactly at about 4 inches on each side of the van as I went through on the 4x4 post. I didn't hit the main post, but anyway, so I go up to the house and I go to talk to this guy, who's a neighbor of my buddy's, and I said, hey, I just went through your fence, and he goes, that's okay, people have done that before. I said, no, dude, I went through your fence, and my vehicle is right touching your house. And he says, oh, come on in, I just got back from the dentist, and I'm on all kinds of stuff, and he says, that's no big deal. So I'm in there talking to this gentleman, and he invites me in, and all of a sudden, I knock on the door, and it's the fire truck, because they saw my van parked up against the house there, and he said, is everything okay, and everything, and I sobered up like super quick, and the guy was really super nice, so I ended up going home, and everything, I got my van out, and I told him, hey, let me know, Rocky's my buddy, so the next morning, I get this phone call from my buddy Rocky. He goes, you better get your ass over here and fix that fence in his garden. He is pissed. I said, he said it was no problem. He says, well, it's a problem now. So we had to go over there and buy him flowers and rebuild his flower garden and rebuild his fence and everything for him, and everything was good.
It wasn't a big deal because he was all hopped up on pain meds from the dentist.
Then he sobered up.
Was your van drivable? Yeah. So did you take your van home from there? Did you back it up off the house and drive it?
Yeah. All I had to do was I had to move some of the bricks because it was like one of those raised with the bricks around it. So I plowed over the top half of it, so it wasn't too hard to move some things out, and I was able to back my van right out and go home.
What kind of van is that, by the way?
It was like an Astro van.
Ah, okay. That's amazing.
Yeah.
None of them are on the road right now because basically they've all kind of broken down after 100,000 miles.
I don't know, man. Our buddy back in Baltimore, we called him Ryan the Lion. So he bought this Astrovan for $50. All right. And it was never in great shape. But like he said, man, it just won't stop running. He's like, I have crashed into things. Everything's going wrong. No, I think it's just this one. You know, it's that relative.
Oh, my Uncle Tim had one. He drove it into the ground.
Really?
Okay. Yeah,
like he would just, stuff would fall off. He'd just duct tape it.
That's the thing about the Astrovan. No one seemed to care what damage it took. Like, they were never happy they had it, but they're like, look, it just won't die. So if they needed the review mirror, they'd open the glove compartment, pull it out, and, like, hold it up.
I guess you're right, Ted. My neighbor, he drove his around delivering newspapers and magazines for years in that thing.
It's wild. Like, my uncle ended up, like, finally, and my cousins were like, just get, like, and the kids are all grown, right? He had 4 kids, but they're all out of the house. So he bought, like, a truck, but he kept that damn van. Like, if he was going to go coach a sport or something, he'd load everything into that van.
That makes sense. Like I said, dude bought it for $50. He's like, that's the best $50 I'll spend.
Other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? 206-803-ROCK.
Got a few texts here. It says, Miles, you can relate to this one. I've had a really bad luck hitting birds. Got them stuck inside the inside of a wheel and my grill before. But the worst was when I went to, Kiribati. Anyway, my buddy and I had a rental truck on this tiny island, and the road sort of ended, but we were still going pretty fast and ended up driving through a bird sanctuary full speed until we realized what was going on. There were feathers effing everywhere.
Mine was a pink spray on the front of my car.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
It looked like somebody took cotton candy and rubbed it all over the front of my grill.
That's just funny. We were driving through, again, last week, New Mexico, whatever, and it's a lot warmer there, so the bugs are out. There's this one stretch of road where I don't know if there was like a swarm or something, but it looked like raindrops. I mean, it's constant on the windshield. It's all these bugs just getting smashed. So my daughter, who'd had her face down in the computer, looks up and she's trying to figure out if it's raining or not. So she asked me, what is that? I'm like, what's what? She goes, on the windshield. I said, those are bugs. She goes like, inside. I said, yeah, they're flying bugs. I said, look, we can't see them. Obviously, they're not getting out of the way. But as I'm saying this, all you hear is, we had to put on the windshield wiper. Seriously,
that many bugs?
Just this, it was like maybe a 5-mile stretch of road. It was insane. But we got out of the car and just looked at the grill of the car. It looked like you ate a handful of poppy seeds. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was just. But
there's no even point to. If you're in the high desert, there's no point in washing your car.
There's not, and they don't.
Between the dust, between the bugs, between everything.
The bugs were. We had to stop at a gas station so I could get their the squeegee. We had to squeegee off the window. Like the windshield wipers were not getting rid of all the bug guts. And it was getting hard to see. Oh, yeah, we were like, God damn, man. The bugs need to pay more attention. Somebody here says, I drove my mom's minivan into the garage door. On my learner's permit, my dad asked me if I could back the minivan out of the driveway to let my grandma park there. I said, sure. Got in the van, thought I put it in reverse, looked backwards. Turned out I put that bitch in drive, gunned it into the garage door. After that, I pulled out of the driveway, parked it where it should be. Then I told my dad. Well, he was none too happy about this or my statement. Quote, don't blame the student, blame the teacher. Jesus. I'm sure that went over real well.
Other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Max. Welcome to the men's room. Hello, Max.
Come on, Max.
No,
goodbye,
Max.
We'll check in a bit. Hello, Devin. Welcome to the men's room. Devin?
How's it going, guys?
Hola.
There you go, Devin.
Hola. So I went ahead and hit a person with my car.
Oh, okay. Cool.
They're okay. They're okay. They're alive. They walked away as we should have. I was 16. My buddy was 17. I didn't have a license. He had a license, but he was hammered. And I didn't even know how to drive a stick. He had a stick, but we had to get to this girl's party because of Destiny.
Yes.
So
her name was Destiny.
Yes.
Right, yeah. There was a left turn, and all the right lanes were full. And the light's turning yellow, so I speed up to make it through. And I don't really know how to do this. And then out from behind all the cars on the right, a dude stepped out. So I dropped the clutch and I slammed the brake and I pulled as hard as I could to the left, and the back of the truck knocked the guy like 50 feet.
Oh my God.
He just got launched. So we hopped out, obviously. like some guy that was waiting in line to turn yelled, "You ran the red light." I'm like, "Not now, bro." But we went over and helped him up and said, "Man, I'm so sorry." We saw that there was a cop pulling people over on the other side of the street. So we're like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yes." We're like, "We have to go now." So we got in the car and escaped, and nothing ever came of it, and he walked away. But
as far as you know,
a pretty fun tale.
I'm sure the adrenaline.
Yeah.
I'm sure he woke up the next day and did not feel great.
He woke up the next day and goes, "Sons of bitches."
Yeah.
So did you make
Turns
it to
out he was just leaving his dentist.
Did you make it to the party?
Oh, yeah, man. Made it to the party, and I passed out, and my buddy and his friend had a threesome with the girl that I went to go meet.
Wow, everything went wrong for you that day. See, that's karma.
Yeah.
We're going to let you hit this guy, but you're not getting any ass tonight.
Right? I mean, now I feel guilty, and for all the wrong reasons.
That's a much more adventurous high school party than any that I went to.
Really?
I mean, as far as
It was a
threesomes
theater
going
party.
on. And
Well, I'm sure a lot of threesomes went on. I was just never involved in them in high school.
Correct.
Like, I am positive that it was happening, but I never got
adulthood, teenage years, college.
Because I got lucky on my 22nd birthday. Both chicks had the same name, which made it even better. It was wonderful. I didn't know this one chick liked me. We worked together for like 9 months or whatever. So I won't say her name, Jen. She goes, "Hey, man, my other friend Jen, this hot-ass redhead." I'm like, "Cool." So again, I don't know they like me. And she's like, "Hey, it's your birthday today." I'm like, yeah. Happy birthday. You have any plans? You go to the bar, get hammered with my buddies. She's like, "Well, before you do that, what do you think of a little humana?" I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me." Absolutely.
Are you being real?
Dude, it made work so long that day. Right?
Yeah, right.
Because this is like at the beginning of the shift, so it's like, what time is it? What time is
Probably
it?
half husky the whole time you're cooking food.
Dude, half? Bro, look, man, as soon as she brought it up and I knew she was being serious, instant erection. Now, quick side note, and if you cook, you know this to be true. Chef's pants are kind of like wearing sweatpants. If you have an erection, everybody knows it. But what made this particularly wonderful is that it was an open kitchen. I'm working at pizza.
Right.
Oh, yeah, if you walked in.
So you stirred the pasta with it.
Oh, God. If you walked into that restaurant on that day, my 22nd birthday, you knew I was excited for something. It was like a permanent erection all day.
Other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? 206-803-ROCK.
Let's try Max again. Hello, Max. All right, no more Max.
All right, goodbye, Max.
Hello, Shane. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bichola.
Hola.
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
We're doing great. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I got a story for you guys. I had this 77 Chevy Custom Deluxe, and I'm like 19 years old. I'm living in Salt Lake City. I'm coming home from work in this thing, and it's a total beater truck. I paid like under $500 for it. I'm driving down this road. All of a sudden, snowstorm comes out of nowhere, and I lose control of my vehicle. I slam into this giant, it's like a telephone pole, but they were made out of metal, and they were like 3 feet wide on this particular street.
Jesus.
Right, dude. It was pretty jarring, to say the least. But I get out of my truck, and I'm thinking, this thing is totaled. Well, the only thing that happened is I had this small dent around the headlight bezel, and I couldn't believe it, man. After that, I thought this truck was invincible.
And was it?
It was. I mean, I crashed into several other things with it, and I don't remember it ever breaking down before I finally got rid of it.
That's great for a reckless driver.
It's also good to have that car that you don't care if you ding it up.
Yeah, that goes back to the Astro van.
Sometimes I'll come out, just somebody ding my door or whatever with their door, and I'm just like, you sons of bitches.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a small little mark in my door. Who would do such a thing? But I've had cars before, I'm like, I'm going to be the one. Bang!
My bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, those parking spots are small.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, you're parked crooked on purpose.
Other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? 206-803-ROCK.
Hey there, it's your friend Stormy Warren here, and I want to invite you to my new home, the Big 615, exclusively on TuneIn. So what is the Big 615? Well, simply put, it's the official home of country music broadcasting live from Nashville to the world. Download the TuneIn app from the App Store. That's TuneIn. And by the way, yes, it's free. You can also ask your device to play the Big 615 on TuneIn. Get the latest on country music, from your favorite artists to the hottest songs climbing up the charts, Oh, and it's commercial-free. That means a whole lot more music and a whole lot more country. Hear it all on the Stormy Warren Show, weekdays from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central. Download the TuneIn app from the App Store. That's TuneIn. And by the way, yes, it's free. You can also ask your device to play the Big 615 on TuneIn. And I look forward to having you join me on the Big 615.
This is your country station.
The Big 615.
Have you or a loved one been injured in an accident? Are you struggling to recover fair compensation? Look no further. At Phillips Law Firm, the experienced personal injury attorneys will fight for your rights and get you the justice and compensation you deserve. They handle a wide range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, medical malpractice, and workplace injuries. Justice is a phone call away, so don't wait. Call today for a free case review. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Join me every Thursday at 1 p.m. exclusively on the Odyssey app as we go live with Odyssey. Join in on the action as we cover interesting facts, top 10 lists, and some fun new games. Follow the Men's Room page on the Odyssey app and join in all the fun Thursday afternoons at 1.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Couple of headlines for you. Russell Wilson involved in scary accident.
Scary.
After Broncos QB flips his golf carts after crashing into a sand trap.
That's scary.
Do you think when he gets in the car he goes, let's run?
I bet you everyone does it to him.
There, look, I'm telling you right now.
He stopped saying that.
As a golfer, there are a number of people that I know in the world that I would not get into a golf cart with if they were driving.
All right.
Just based on the fact that I know they cannot drive anything.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've seen people crash golf carts before. They were always blacked out drunk.
Yeah.
At like a tournament. I was telling somebody a story.
Well, you know for a fact he's not.
That's what I'm saying. For Russell Wilson, it's like it's weirder. Right?
How did he do this?
Like he's just out there golfing. He's probably a freaking psycho about his game. But
you know he is.
But right, like how did you not see the sand trap? Also, Miles, was that a fairway trap?
The fairway bunker. It was
fairway bunker.
Yeah, it was probably 50 out from the green.
How do you hit that?
You don't see it, and you just drop right into it. You're not paying attention. Pay attention. You're on your phone.
I mean, the one time I flipped the golf cart, to be fair, I was trying to make the hairpin turn. Ted said I wouldn't do it.
I wasn't even thinking about
right.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
It landed on a Playboy button. At least ours is fun.
Right.
Yeah, and then like one time, I remember when I was a bartender in Baltimore, we would get hammered. We would stay up all night and then go play this awful, awful golf course.
Clifton?
Right. I think it was Clifton.
Yes,
right?
that is an awful, awful golf course.
No, it's
where it's located
is an awful place.
You might get propositioned by a prostitute.
Yeah, I used to have kids sell me golf balls for like 10 of them for like $2.
But there is a group of us, and this girl just comes flying, like literally into the sand pit, into the trap, and then a bottle of tequila just comes flying.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Here's a crazy story for you. A Texas woman who'd been reported missing found alive in a Jeep. It was almost completely submerged in a Marion County lake in Texas. The county sheriff's office posted on Facebook that a fisherman called in on Friday morning to report seeing the top of the floating Jeep about 40 feet from a boat ramp. Deputies in a tow truck from a wrecker service responded, and then the unexpected occurred. As the Jeep was being prepared for removal from the water, it was discovered a person was still in the vehicle.
Jesus.
And moving. Everyone at the scene, deputies, wrecker services, and the fisherman who made the call assisted in rescuing the woman, who was transported to a local hospital. During the course of the incident, deputies determined the woman had been reported missing in Longview, about 30 miles southwest of the lake. Investigation is underway. It's not clear how the Jeep ended up in the water. In fact, we do not know how long the Jeep was in the water. According to NPR, they reported that she'd been reported missing at 12:35 a.m. Friday, and the fisherman's call came in hours later, sometime Friday morning. Other reports say she was reported missing on April 5th. Authorities say that so far nothing suspicious has turned up, and the incident appears to have been accidental. Either way, the woman survived the crash and being submerged for however long she was.
Good Lord, man.
Other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? 206-803-ROCK.
Couple of quick texts there. It says, I hit an armadillo when I was 14 years old on my dirt bike riding trails. It was like hitting a rock. I flew about 15 to 20 feet. The armadillo just walked away. Somebody here says the school bus hit a full-grown seagull in high school. The shatterproof windshield had flexed a little bit, but did not completely collapse. Had to pull over and wait for another bus to come pick us up. Sounded like a tire exploded when it happened.
Worst thing that's ever hit me, honest to God, while driving, as far as physical impact, yes. I have hit a vehicle and messed myself up. A lot of that had to do with just the seatbelt tightening up and the impact and all that. But I'm telling you, man, that time I'm on my scooter, the first scooter I ever bought, I have an open face mask. I have my sunglasses on. I'm driving down Leary. I must have had my mouth open to some degree. Whatever bug that flew into my mouth hit the back of my throat. I mean, like, it stung like a bee sting. I mean, right in the middle of the back of my throat. And I can feel it back there stuck to the back of my throat. I'm like, trying to swallow this thing down. And eventually I get it down, whatever the bug was. But the pain in the back of my throat, I mean, every time I swallowed for the rest of the afternoon, I was like, oh, God. Like, it just, I mean, I'm in the mirror, I got my mouth open, trying to see if I can see like a red bump or anything like that. I can't see anything. But
but you still look.
Oh, I'm just like, God almighty. I don't know what the hell that was, man, but man, it hurt.
You're talking about two wheels. I like this text. It says, I've ridden a motorcycle 3 times in my life, all right? 3 times. I've hit a tree. That's 1. I've hit a motorhome. That's 2. And a small child. Never riding again.
No.
What happened to the small child? Please fill us in.
Other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Max. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Oh, there he is.
Here again.
You figured it out.
Yeah, apparently your phone dropped me or something, but...
Well, you didn't answer the first 2 times, Max.
Yes, that
all right,
was why.
So then we made a conscious
there were 2
decision.
times. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, well, that's why you got dropped, dude.
Whoops.
It's all right. We're all good now. Tell your story.
In a nutshell, basically, I have epilepsy, and I was riding a road bike with no brakes down 12th and Jackson Street, and I have hit other times, but both this time I've hit one of those metal light poles going down 12th and Jackson after having a seizure.
You said you're on a bike with no brakes?
Yes. Most of the bikes I own, unfortunately, don't have brakes unless it's my foot.
Oh, what kind of bikes do you ride? Like trick bikes?
I ride a Redline BMX bike and or some sort of lightweight road bike because Washington State prohibits me from operating any machine vehicles unless it's a watercraft.
Oh, you shouldn't be in the water either.
Yeah, I agree. You can die in the water.
Yeah, my daughter's an epileptic.
I'm putting someone else's life in danger if I were to have a seizure behind like one of these cranes that operate down here.
Yeah, 12th and Jackson. There's a lot of cranes. How often do you have seizures?
I don't really know. Sometimes I have auras where they come on, and I kind of feel them come on. Other times they just happen.
And you wake up, so you don't know if you just went to sleep on the floor or if you had a seizure. Can't you put it together based on the fact that you feel like you've run a marathon the next day?
The meds I take already make me really, really tired. I'm on trazodone and Keppra and Depakote. So do you walk a lot? I'm hoping. I walk, take Metro a lot, and ride bikes. All right. That's all the state lets me do.
Yeah, I think that's probably the smartest thing for you to do.
I would think so. Have you ever had a seizure on public transit? And if so, how do the people around you react?
People around me generally freak the blank out.
Yeah.
But I do have to wear a Med ID bracelet that I've worn since I was like 7-ish.
Right. Yeah. Maybe you should spend more time on the dance floor. That way, if you have a seizure, people just think you're doing your thing.
Unfortunately, but I mean, after having one, I'm both very tired and can't remember a lot of things.
Right.
So there's
Right.
this like giant gray spot in my head.
How about in your pants?
That's funny too, but no.
All right, so that's never happened to you when you've had a seizure.
No.
All right.
How do you feel right now?
In what way?
I mean, I don't know. We tried to pull you up twice. You weren't there. I'm worried. Did you just?
Now we're hearing why. Like, well,
I mean, I have a medical marijuana card too, so I kind of smoke weed all day. Also,
Okay, that explains a lot of things, right?
Okay.
Explains a lot. Man, I remember I did not know what seizures were or epilepsy or anything like that. And I'm like 7 or 8 years old. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I remember our neighbors, they had 2 super hot daughters, but the neighbors came running over, the mom, and she's pounding on the door. I could tell there's an emergency because my parents, they'd pop out of bed, they'd run over there. So my brother and I looking out of our bedroom window, and we see my parents disappear into the house. About an hour later, it gets cleared up. My mom comes back home and explains, hey, Terry, that was the father of this family. He had a seizure. I did not know what that was. She's explaining it to me. So both of my parents went over there, kind of hold him down, depress the tongue, all that kind of thing. She's explaining this to me. And it's kind of hitting me because he was a cool dude. He survived. He was fine. But real cool dude. And I'm looking kind of sad. And my mom goes, look, between you and me, though, I didn't know he slept naked. He was a corpulent man. So my mother, basically, she's like, yeah, we saved his life. We helped out. But she's like, the image that's stuck in my head, this big naked man thrashing on the bed and like I have to lay across him to hold him down. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what she took away from it. Not, hey, we saved the guy's life. She's just like,
what do you mean lay on him?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Because she's like, your dad did all the stuff with the mouth.
How about
keep
the wife lays on him?
Well, they were kind of both there, but I think the wife was across the chest, so my mom was a little bit lower, and she's just like,
wake up.
My God.
Wake up. Other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? 206-803-ROCK.
Lay on me.
Lay on me.
Come on, you can wake up.
Jesus, man.
Hello, Phil. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen. Good afternoon.
Hola.
It's the only way to get him out of the seizure. It's like, you guys are playing in this.
Right. So, Phil, what did you hit other than another vehicle?
All right, I fell asleep driving down the freeway and drifted off the road and hit one of those metal light poles on the freeway, which after hearing everybody today, I'm kind of feeling a little bit better about it. Seems like everybody's hitting those things.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, did it split your car in half?
No, so I was really lucky to be alive. It didn't split the car in half, but I squared up with it, and I put a giant dent in the front of the car, and I did some corkscrew rotations, then went down a wooded hill bouncing off of trees, had to punch my way out the back window with my dog and crawled back out onto the freeway, but luckily I was fine.
How about the dog?
The dog was also fine. I could not find her leash, so I had to clip her to a set of jumper cables that were in the bed of the truck that I found, and had to get her back later from the fire department.
They took your dog?
She was fine. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I had to go to the hospital. I was perfectly fine, but they definitely made me go to the hospital after seeing the extent of the accident.
How bad was the damage to your car?
Oh, it was gone. It looked like somebody, like a giant, had grabbed the front and the back and twisted and crushed it.
Jeez. When you were trying to get out of the back of your vehicle, had anyone pulled over to try to help you?
You know, so it was all really quick, and the engine was hissing and making all sorts of noises, so I immediately turned around and punched my way out the back window of my truck. But yeah, by the time I crawled back out onto the freeway, there was quite a few people that were running up to me like, "Oh my God, are you alive? Are you okay?"
I'd like to ask, are you alive? If they don't, even if they say no, probably are.
How many times? Yeah. How many swings did you have to take before you finally broke the glass?
Yeah, it was just the one. I had adrenaline going pretty good for me.
That sounds like
that helps. That helps.
That's crazy.
It was unnerving because with the wheel, I woke up upside down in the air in the middle of the aerial corkscrews that it was doing.
That's a bad time to wake up. Mm-hmm. So, like, what's the thought that goes through your head? Just OS?
That's exactly what I was screaming at the top of my lungs.
Did you remember that you were driving because you'd fallen asleep?
Yeah, it's weird because time actually does slow down in an instance like that. So I had the wherewithal to come to and be like, oh, wow, ground sky, holy crap, I'm getting into an accident right now.
Brains are, your brain's crazy.
Just screaming OS the whole time.
Because your brain tries to protect you from certain things.
It does, but it does slow time down. When Ted ran me off the road, based on your guys' description of the crash versus how I perceived it are so different, because to me, the whole process took 2 minutes. Like, I see the wall coming. I recognize there's nothing I can do. Okay, I've hit the wall. Fine. Then I realized, like he said, the car is upside down. This is not good. And I remember thinking, man, please don't land upside down, which I did, because this is really, really, really going to hurt, which it turns out it did not. But as you're having all of these thoughts, because you feel like you're in the air forever, I didn't even realize that the car landed on the roof. I just remember watching the windshield, just explode in slow motion toward me. So I was all right, you're on the ground. Then it came to a stop, and it's dead silent. And all I could think is, I don't hurt. I'm alive. Mm-hmm. This is kind of cool. Not so bad.
Yeah. We'll talk about everybody crashing into poles. I've seen a couple of instances where on the highways recently, right where the guardrail rail will start. Sometimes it starts out in a triangle and splits out, like if it's trying to protect a bridge area or something like that. And people hit that damn thing head on, even if it has the barrels behind it or the springs and all that stuff. And I'm like, that has to be the worst case scenario. To hit the guardrail when it starts, not like in the middle. Right at the beginning of it, where they have that big thing, It's like, I've seen those just absolutely crushed in and thought to myself, that is not good. Whoever hit that is not good.
Well, again, back to New Mexico, everyone there was driving like 100 miles an hour. That's not an exaggeration, but we saw one, we didn't witness the accident, we saw the aftermath. Fine. And it is different when you're traveling that fast. Just looking at the car like, oh my God. But on 4 different occasions on I-25, and I like that they take the time to put up a sign that says, damaged guardrail ahead. And instead of replacing the guardrail, they just let you know. And every time you look, you can see where the guardrail is either missing or bent completely back, but you see the tire tracks where someone clearly slammed on the brakes, lost control. But it goes for like 90 feet because people are going so fast. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, man.
Other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Joel. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
How you fellas doing today?
Doing great.
Right on, man. I guess I'll just start off with my story. So back when I was 16 or 17, like a junior in high school, me and a couple of my friends were leaving school that day, and we were fortunate enough to get out a little bit early. We had a pretty cool 6-period teacher, so he let us out like 5 minutes early before everybody else. So as we were leaving, my buddy who was driving the car decided to get the idea in his head that he wanted to drift this really sharp corner that's like behind the parking lots as we're leaving the school. And he decided to drift the corner, and what happened was, as he went to try to drift it, he lost control and he slammed right into the embankment, the side of the road. And like I said, we were like the first ones out that day. So the worst part was we crashed, and then as everybody else is leaving, we're sitting there on the side of the road with our car in the ditch, and we have to wave at all of our friends as they drive by, and they see us crashed and everything. And we had to wait there for a while until another buddy of ours who happened to have a winch on his truck was able to pull us out. But yeah, that was a good time.
Last time that he ever probably drifted around curves?
No, actually, he didn't learn his lesson. So he another time he tried to drift a roundabout, and the same thing happened. He slammed right into the curb and ended up messing up his alignment pretty bad. But yeah, I don't know why he ever got the idea that he could drift his old crappy Volvo. It wasn't like a race car or anything like that. So I don't know why he thought he could ever do that.
Did you ever try to tell him that, hey, brother, certain people are cut out to do certain things. Clearly, you are not cut out to drift.
Oh, yeah, no, I've told him that, man. I definitely, after, getting, crashing to that embankment, I was like, hey, man, let's not do that again. That was probably a pretty bad idea. And then he was like, oh, yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know why I thought I could. And then, like I said, it was probably 2 months later, he decided to do the same thing while I was in the car with him. And I'm like, all right, I guess we're doing this. And then he crashed his car. And then I was like, well, I guess you didn't learn your lesson.
See, that's one of those people I wouldn't get in the car with. What, Jesus. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I just have friends that do dumb things in their car.
You can do it once. I get it. But if you do it again, and look, the general rule, like anything, if you were successful on your first attempt, I understand why you might do it again. Right? And anything. Even if you just got lucky, I can see where your confidence is. If you failed as miserably as this guy, and then he says, I'm going to do it again, but you can't do it. We've established
Ohio is unusually flat. My buddy lived out in the middle of farm country, but the roads are straight as an arrow for the most part. There are some 90-degree turns, with, property-wise and stuff like that, but for the most part, it's straight. But there are tons of undulations in the road.
Okay.
Just up and down dips. It's straight. But there were places where he could jump his car.
Mm-hmm.
He could make you lose, your stomach, basically,
right.
on some of the dips. So he would hit these roads, and I was just absolutely terrified because I don't know what's ahead of us. He knows what's ahead of us, but he's seriously getting air in like a Honda Civic or whatever.
Right.
But that was not like the Honda Civic of today. This was like a small little hatchback thing back then.
Yeah.
Like the Honda Civic was much different. It didn't have really, you had a pop-up, back trunk. It wasn't
I remember those. Yeah, a little hatchback thing.
Yeah, basically it was just like a really tiny car. And we talk about getting...
What you watch depends on what kind of mood you're in. Sometimes you're craving comedies like Friends or South Park, and sometimes you're more into dramas like HBO's Succession and House of the Dragon. There's also cooking shows like Chopped and Beat Bobby Flay, and even movies like The Lord of the Rings and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Well, Max is the streaming destination that has the best of entertainment for whatever mood you're in anytime. And plans start at as little as $9.99 a month. Max, the one to watch. Subscription required. Visit max.com.
You would get air and then boom, the car would bounce when it hit the ground. You're like, Jesus, dude.
How fast was he going when he does this?
65.
Okay.
55. Whatever it was just like, it's amazing it's amazing he didn't kill himself. Amazing he didn't kill all of us.
I was going to say, yeah. You get around 30, that kind of stops.
Yeah. I was going to ask Max how his buddy's doing now, but I figured it'd probably be a bad question because I'm a Grim Reaper.
Yep.
Other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? 206-803-ROCK.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Now, don't forget we got the secret code word. Coming up at 4:20, your chance to win tickets to see Greta Van Fleet, Climate Pledge Arena. Just announced this morning, Friday, August the 4th. The code word will be given at 4:20. If I remember. Our question, other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? 206-803-ROCK.
Somebody here says, I once hit an entire family of ducks in my truck. Now, I like to think they made it out fine with the lift on my truck, but the amount of blood and feathers on the front end, that's probably not the case. Probably not, yes. Hello, Brendan. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hey, Buzz. How you doing, bitches?
Hola. That's a new one.
Wow. We're doing great, man. How are you?
I'm drunk in the cup right now, but hey, so I cut a whole 1999 Ford Explorer.
Is this our phone?
This is our phone.
I don't care.
You sound like Satan, dude.
It's more entertaining. Continue on, Lucifer.
The way your phone is, look, it's our phone system, not you. A lot of times we get that Disney voice. This is the exact opposite.
And we've never, this is brand new to us.
Yeah,
we've never got this one before.
I can't stop laughing and smiling right now. I'm sorry.
Satan, don't apologize. I was scared when you first started talking. I'm sorry,
We'll find out what happens. Talk real fast for a minute. See if it sounds normal.
I'll talk real fast. It's not 1998. It was 2008. Fucking, no. Please don't. It was 1998. 2008. I'm fighting with my baby mama. We had just gone over to her house. I just got into a fight. I hear you guys laughing in the background.
Dude, this is like the devil called. I was just cast out of heaven. I was in a crappy mood.
My baby mama and our kid Damien. That bitch St. Peter.
I was kicked out in 1998, 2008. I don't remember when I was kicked out.
So you're fighting with your baby's mama.
Okay. So I leave the place, and I'm mad. I'm so mad. I'm driving 100 miles an hour down a river embankment. It was not a river embankment. It was like the river levee, right? It was a river levee down in Sacramento, California. And Sacramento River has a river levee. So it was raining hardcore that night. It was like 10 p.m. Raining hardcore. And I was doing like 100 because I was just pissed off. I was very pissed off.
Oh, hang on, Satan.
Not shocked. Here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio.
Wow. Even you, Satan.
Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now, back to the program.
All right, please continue.
Yes, I apologize. anyway, I was going 100 miles an hour down a river embankment or the river levee, and I was going to my girlfriend's house from my baby mama's house, and I was 18 years old, and I started skidding, and it skidded out to a fact that I fell off the river embankment with this 1999 luxury edition limited Ford Explorer, and I hit a tree, and then I guess I was told that I bounced off the tree, and I hit a telephone pole, and I split it in half, and I woke up probably about 4 minutes later because they said that I was knocked out for 4 minutes, and I woke up upside down, and I didn't know that at the time, so I was like, what the heck is going on? So I crawled out of the car. I got back onto the river embankment, and some farmer down in California was, I guess he had some type of tree farm or whatever, and he found me, and they called the cops, but a helicopter ended up coming and finally getting me out of there, and my whole skull was cracked from back to front, and I had to end up giving like 37 staples, and probably I'm not that really good about it right now.
Oh, Brendan, in the course of this phone call, you went from Satan to your actual voice now.
Yes.
It's been a strange journey.
But no brain damage, thank God.
Oh, no, there's probably is brain damage.
Yeah, I know. All right, Satan, great talking to you. Call anytime. Jesus.
That is weird. By the end of the call, it sounds like a normal dude.
Yeah, I know.
I swear to God, in the history of radio, I have never, ever dealt with a phone system that is this screwed up.
No, not this.
I mean, even the basic, most remedial crap that we used to have back in the day where you pressed a button and put people on the air, it was never like this.
No.
I don't know what they've done to the technology, man, but it's just, they effed it up.
It's easier and better, Miles.
Well, a lot of people, they compared him to Optimus Prime. That came up a few times. We also had Jabba the Hutt, which pretty good call. They said the riverbed, they're assuming it's the river Styx. And then someone here says it's this Fat Albert or Satan. It was kind of a combination.
When he first started talking, I don't know if I could deal with this.
I know, but it was
Kinda
too
spooky.
fun. It was too fun, man. Good Lord.
Other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Xavier. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Doing well, sir.
So this is about 16 years ago, 18. So not my first car, my second one. I was going to be getting ready to graduate high school and be heading to Indiana for college. So my grandparents had just took the time to invest in a more reliable car. And so I was in a 2002 Dodge Neon and working late, had to side job after school, eat some pizza, drive a little bit faster than I probably should be. I'm heading towards my girlfriend's house, and as I'm approaching this vehicle coming towards me, I can tell as within the last couple of feet, I see that it's a cop. And in my mind, I was like, okay, I got two options. I need
Hello.
or I can speed up and keep going. So, being a teenager thinking you're invincible, I decided to go ahead and speed up. So I knew, about a half mile down the road, there was like an off area where you could drive down below the road to get to a park. And so I took off fast as I possibly think of, and I'm pulling up on the road, so I hear myself like screeching on the brakes. I try to slow down as fast as I can. I see the headlights flip around. I turn my lights off, and I back up without thinking into the road. And then I see this. Oh my God! I was like, I don't know what that was. I see the cop go flying by. I sit there for like another couple minutes, and I finally get out of the car. And I had kind of missed where the entry point was. Industrial seats, so I closed off the parks that night. And I had backed right into it. The gate was open, so I went right through the back of my trunk into my car.
Oh, geez. So your car is pretty much totaled at this point.
No, because it like pushed the lid open. Like if you were to think of like someone putting lumber in a car, something like that.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, it basically speared through my trunk. I pushed the lid open a little bit, and it speared into the back of my back seat.
All right. Okay, well, that's not the worst thing in the world, I guess.
But did the cop ever find you?
No, I did not. I ended up going to the girlfriend, stayed there late, then got home, woke up early and went to a buddy's house, and ended up having him drive me to a pick and pull to buy a new trunk lid and try and hide it from my grandparents.
It's amazing all the people that get in accidents because they're driving too fast because they're on their way to get laid.
Yeah, but I completely get it. I want to say, Ted, I think it was you, Ted, that pointed this out, right? So we all know about sloths. And sloths are aptly named because they just don't move fast.
They move very slowly.
Moss grows on them, right? Because they move that slow. And they live in a place where there's tigers and all these predators down on the ground, so they stay in the trees. They don't move quick. They hear the female mating call. This mofo suddenly is like out of the tree, and he's swimming like Michael Phelps up this river. I'm like, so you can't move fast in any circumstance. To the fact that, like, nature even says live in trees, you're too stupid to live on the ground, right? But when you're about to get some sloth ass, like, you're going to hop in the water and you swim like a dolphin. I'm telling you, man, when it comes to getting ass, think about it, man, especially at that age. If you're not expecting it, some chick calls you, you're 18, 19 years old, like, you up? Right. That's all I got to say. I don't care if they live 12 miles away. You will get there in 3
You're on your way.
You are there.
Other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? 206-803-ROCK. Let's see if we can get a normal phone line.
Hello, Jordan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh, my God.
I'm just glad I didn't have to follow Satan.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
So I hit the very tip top of a telephone pole.
How do you hit the tip top of a telephone pole?
So back in high school, this is probably about 2000. I was driving home, and apparently the guy in front of me, a couple minutes before me, I didn't see this happen. He had swerved to miss a deer and went off the road, and he slammed into the telephone pole, knocking it over, suspending it, windshield heights over the road. So when I came through a couple minutes later, the thing just smashed directly through my windshield.
It's amazing you weren't decapitated.
Not decapitated, luckily.
How close to your face was the pole?
I mean, probably a foot. It came through the very center of the windshield, and I kind of ducked down to the left, and it kind of grabbed the car and swung me like a protractor.
Okay.
Off the road.
How long between the time that you saw this telephone pole before you hit it?
Oh, like a second or two.
Right. Just enough time to panic, I'm guessing.
Just enough time to duck.
Okay. Jesus. But if you had not have ducked, do you think it would have hit you?
I probably ducked and swerved a little bit to the left.
Yeah.
Missed. So, yeah, who knows? I don't know.
How about the guy who hit the post? Now, was he still in his vehicle and injured when you got out of your car?
Yeah, he's still sitting in his car. So I get out, not knowing what just really happened, and I hear somebody calling out my name. So I thought, this is weird. Okay, am I dead or what's going on? And I start walking over to them, and they're like, stop. I didn't see it, but I had almost stepped on the power lines that were down on the road.
God.
Yeah, so that was escape number 2, I guess.
Did you feel like life was trying to kill you at that point?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you begin to take it personally. Like, okay, so it's not enough that a telephone pole goes through my window, but now I damn near step on power lines. I mean, that's life. Like, we're taking you out today, chump.
It's a double nightmare.
Other than another vehicle, what did you hit with yours? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Joe. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello. Hola.
Hola.
Hey, so it's a 2-part thing. The second part is, imagine a fire truck going to a fire.
Okay.
So 10 months prior, I just got my beautiful 66 Fairlane GTA, red on red on red. And this is a 1976.
Nice.
And And I go around the corner because I got it the next day I drove it and showing off a little bit. I went, instead of making a right turn, I couldn't stop and hit a fire hydrant. And
is it like the movies, like water comes shooting up and all?
Oh man, it was spectacular.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, about 10 months after I fixed it, 'cause I'm a retired mechanic. I'm a mechanic at the time, and I'm going to get some parts and some fire engine going to a fire with a hook and ladder, Whittier Boulevard and Painter in Whittier. And it was a blind corner, and he just nailed me. I mean, you're talking about a demolished car.
Oh, man. No, you hit a fire truck. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, in those days, who wears a seatbelt?
Nobody. No. So did you go through the windshield?
No, I did not. My leg went forward, hit the 8-track that was on the dash.
8-track, yeah.
My femur.
There goes your ABBA.
Broke my femur. My steering wheel broke, and then at the same time, it dislocated both my thumbs, and the steering column went into my chest.
Jesus. So what's the total damage? Is the steering column hitting you in the chest? Did it break anything?
It just kind of punctured my lungs a little bit, and so I was in the hospital for 2 weeks.
Damn. How was your?
I actually got out on Valentine's Day.
How was your CB?
Not good.
Yeah. Like I say, it punctured my lungs a little bit. Turns out with lungs, a little bit goes a long way. It really does.
Yeah, puncture's a puncture.
I mean, you ain't kidding, because I had to breathe the salt, like a salt air thing, and it's just like breathing. I mean, I was like almost ready to puke because there's so much saline, I guess, in the air.
Like, what do they do for a punctured lung, right? You break your ribs, there's nothing you can do. You just have to wait for them to heal. Yeah. But, like, I guess lungs are self-healing?
Yeah. So I had to breathe through an air tube that was forcing air in my lungs, as well as a salt, like a saline mist at the same time. And that's all that was done.
Damn.
And
what did you buy after that? I'm sure you got an insurance settlement on it, right?
You know.
All right. You didn't get much of their miles.
Once again, bedroom callers, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio. Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now, back to the program.
I think we take a time out on these calls today.
With the S's, yeah.
Yeah, I think we just...
Has that been, was it 3 or 4 today?
3, yeah. At least. Speaking of fire hydrants, someone here says, one of my high school girlfriends got hit, pushed into a fire hydrant, and the 4-lane road we were on Federal Way flooded out. They had to block it all for traffic for almost an entire afternoon.
Oh, it has to be incredible.
Damn.
As far as the amount of
well, he said spectacular.
Did we talk about, did you see the woman in Cape Cod?
No.
There's a sign that says, like, don't park past this point.
Oh, yeah.
She just parked her car past that point. Like, I know it happens.
Oh, high tide came in?
High tide came in, and the car is just submerged. And I know it's happened in, like, Ocean Shores before, right? Because out there, if you have a 4x4 car, you can drive on the beach. But
they tell you.
It happens in Duck and Corral.
Yep. I've been there.
Houses on stilts. They park underneath the house, but sometimes high tides come in and they're higher than normal. And next thing you know, the cars have sunk underneath their homes.
Why would you
into
park
the sand
under a home that's on stilts? It's on stilts for
Why
a
would
reason.
you build the house on stilts right.
on
a beach?
I mean, there's a whole town that's just on the beach.
Yes,
but absolutely. You couldn't, honestly, like, it would take way too long to walk out there.
That's why people don't have to evacuate. They have to get all their cars up there in the event of a hurricane. Because if not, they'll either go out to the ocean or they'll sink underneath their house and they can't dig them out.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of crazy too. Is they have like there's a Jeep that delivers mail, so it looks like a regular. You know, it's got all the same coloring. It's got a light. There's a firehouse out there on the beach.
Wow.
Yeah. Tax day is today. Ryan Castle on the way with Sit and Spin. We've got 10 songs about paying taxes.
Yay.
Coming up. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Hey, y'all, it's Garth, the Big 615. You're going to hear the newest that country music has to offer. At the same time, you're going to hear the newest that the country classics have to offer. I want to hear the new single from George Strait, and I want to hear it right beside the new single from Luke Combs. That's the thing we call the Big 615.
Download the free TuneIn app from the App Store. That's TuneIn. Or ask your device to play the Big 615 on TuneIn.
Are you dealing with a personal injury? Don't go it alone. Turn to the experienced team at Phillips Law Firm. Their attorneys have helped thousands of clients get the compensation they deserve. Call Phillips Law Firm now. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All this week, tickets to Greta Van Fleet. Listen to the code word for your chance to win for that show at Climate Pledge Arena Friday, August the 4th. We give the code word at 420. We're close. The code word is Master.
Master?
Master. Text Master to 206-803-ROCK. Steve, I'm assuming you picked this one.
Oh, of course I did.
Yes.
I was
the word is Master.
Man.
I'm not sure what the affiliate is with that. But.
Damn.
Well, I'm reading the code words of the week. I'm like, why is that one in there?
Who came up with that?
They must have a song.
Castle.
Meet the master.
Oh, beat the master.
Beat the master.
Meet the master.
Oh. I was like, beat
the master.
Again, I'm hearing what I want to hear.
What are you doing? I'm going to go and beat the master. Probably watch the television.
That's going to be my term
Get
now.
stoned.
What are you doing to beat the master? God damn it.
The one that controls my body and brain.
Everything I do.
Yes.
He controls it.
By the way, text to 206-803-ROCK. The word again is Master. And Taryn's got tickets coming up tonight as well for Greta Van Fleet.
Wonder what her code word is. Let's see if there's a theme.
Right. Our question, other than another vehicle, what did you hit with your vehicle? And here come those emails from the men's room at KISW.com. Master.
Yeah.
Text that to 206-803-ROCK. Let's see, guys, I was in high school, and my car was a 1962 Ford Falcon. One day, 3 friends and I decided to skip school and go for a drive up the foothills above our homes. Doing fine until we hit a patch of black ice. Suddenly and without warning, we were going down the road at about 25 miles an hour sideways. Tires caught, and the car went nose first into an embankment. It hit just right, and the car turned over onto its top. Everyone was fine. We all climbed out of the windows and assessed the situation. Then a couple guys came along in a pickup, and with all of us pushing, we got the car turned back over onto its wheels and drove it home. I didn't have a windshield anymore, so the drive was quite breezy, but I made it. Regards, guys.
Quite breezy, yes.
That from Dave in Spanaway. As we move on to the birthday requests. Gentlemen, hoping for a birthday shout-out for my sister, Grace. She is turning 23. She goes to college up in Bellingham to study math and space stuff. What a nerd. I love her to pieces. Big birthday wishes to her, and if possible, could we get the gang babbling all over each other about just how cool space is?
Oh, hell yeah.
Love the show, long-time listener. Keep up the good work. That from Shane in Stillicum.
I'll tell you,
there's a lot of stuff going on.
That's what I said yesterday.
Nobody lives there. It is not based on
what's out there.
No Jack Black and Lizzo.
It's an amazing thing.
And
Space in general.
Yeah. Lizzo and Jack Black on the latest Mandalorian. They're in space now.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I did not know. I'm watching The Mandalorian. I'm like,
yeah.
That's goddamn Lizzo and Jack Black.
Lizzo and
and then I couldn't not. So the only problem with them doing it, right? They did a fine job. But because it's Lizzo and Jack Black, and you know it's a one-time kind of thing, you couldn't stop just watching Lizzo and Jack Black. So the story kind of lost me because I'm like, it's Lizzo and Jack Black.
Are you enjoying season 3 a little more now, Miles?
Yes, I am. I had my moment where I, had my hissy fit, and I calmed down. After
you really did.
Episode 3.
Episode 3, kiss my ass.
What the hell's going on with that?
Pile of crap.
Why are they still making it?
Don't they have a phone number I can call? Get off my lawn.
Yeah. You know what? Its Swingers sucked.
He's going after Favreau now.
Yeah, that's a deep reference. Right. Somebody got it. Yeah. Swingers is a great movie, by the way.
Holy Michelos today is my brother Jason's 33rd birthday. He's an IT guy. So can he get Miles yelling, no teriyaki in the desert? And everyone talking all over each other about computer problems. Thanks, guys. That from Taylor. No teriyaki in the desert?
Yeah,
no teriyaki in the desert.
Speaking of computer problems,
I
don't understand what the hell I'm doing. Every time something goes wrong,
live at home.
the best thing I can do is cuss. Sometimes I hit it, but I've gotten a little bit better. But that's I just get Chad.
I'm like, why is this freezing up right now? It's the wrong time. Gentlemen, today will go down as the happiest day of my life. Today we welcomed our first child, a daughter, into this world. It's too much to explain in words. So I was hoping you guys could give me a hand with that. I was hoping I could get some inspirational words from Mr. Montgomery, a suck-it-up cupcake, and Coach Ted, asking Emma Rose to not be so hard on Dad when he screws up.
Bad news.
Mommy and Daddy love you. That from Tom and Bree
So, suck it up, cupcake!
in Massachusetts.
Baby was born today?
Today.
All right, listen. First of all, Dad, that's not going to happen, all right? It's a baby daughter. It's going to be trouble for years. But if you want me to talk to the baby, I will. Goo goo, gaga, goo goo, gaga.
Why would you tell them that, man? They're too young for that.
Hey, that baby needs to learn.
Yeah. And watch your mouth.
Okay. I know you're just born, but you probably like turtles. You don't even know it.
Gaga.
One day you'll have sleepovers. If you're a turtle, it would suck to never be able to have sleepovers with your friends because you always sleep in your own home. But at least you never have to get a hotel room while traveling.
I think a turtle's ever invited another turtle in a show.
No. That's what I'm saying. Everywhere you go, you're sleeping in the same place.
Do you ever leave the show?
No.
They never leave So
No.
once they make a show,
that's their home.
That's it.
That's it. That's where you live for the rest of your
Period.
life. Yep, every night.
Well, I guess I don't really leave
if
my
your air
skin.
conditioning goes bad, you got to get
You
it
don't
fixed.
leave your skin, but you leave your clothes, right? Because you got your skin. I'm a turtle. Then the shell is like extra, right? So I just feel like, man, maybe you're just like, I got to change the scenery, man. I want a different shell. Like, can they just make a shell, or is the shell you're born with the shell you're stuck with?
And why does a tortoise spend all of its life on land when the turtle spends all their time in the water, and essentially they're basically the same exact creature?
Well, obviously they're not, because one's on land.
We don't have people that live in the ocean.
Sure we do. They're called dead. But, sea turtles, they have fins, flippers, right? And then the more amphibious ones, they got the feet.
Sure.
So I'm just saying, you got sea turtles that are dedicated
Terrapins live
to
in the
being
water.
in the ocean.
Well, I mean, they don't have to live in the water, but most of the time they do.
Sea turtles are the only one that are just like, hey, we're dedicated.
I'm just saying, tortoises don't even want to go in the water. They just stay old and crusty and live to be 300 years old.
So why are you mad at the tortoise versus the turtle? Why do you think the turtle's cooler because it goes in both? Maybe the tortoise is like, no, dude, I'm the wave of the future. The land, bro, that's even where we came from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're built the same way as your brother, and your brother spends the whole time swimming in the ocean.
Sure. I mean, we're kind of built like chimpanzees.
Maybe I'm a tortoise, and I say, you know what, man, I'm tired of this land life. I'm just going to start swimming.
And then he drowns and dies.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, I see. Terrapins is like, he's a little smaller turtle. He lives in the brackish water.
So terrapins are specifically
That's why they're probably in Maryland so much.
That makes sense.
Based on all
they're all
Magathi River and all that crap.
Right, they're all with chromium.
They're all turtles, but that's what I'm saying. I used to pick up turtles off the street in College Park.
That sounds awesome.
Take 'em
Are
home.
turtles tortoises or are tortoises turtles? I feel like a turtle's a tortoise, but I don't know.
No, a tortoise is not. A tortoise is one of those things that's the old big guys.
With the big, long...
But they're all kind of the same thing.
Neck.
Right.
A tortoise you can go up and pet on the damn head. A terrapin will take your finger off.
Okay.
Like a snapping turtle.
So they say they're all related.
Well, I know they're related, but okay.
I mean, I don't know. Look, let's say you had somebody from every country in the world.
All right.
And they're lined up. Do you think the turtle would be like, I don't know, that one's whiter than the other one? Are they?
I do. I think turtles are racist.
Well, it's not right, but I'm just saying, they're all reptile, they're all related, but they have different characteristics.
Sure. Well, penguins live, in the Arctic.
Yeah.
And they're a bird.
Sure.
But they don't fly.
Correct.
They swim.
Correct.
So maybe it's the same way as that.
Maybe there's nothing to see. It's Antarctica. They're like, even when you fly, it's like this big white expanse.
And some penguins live in South Africa.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yep.
We get puffins up north, right? No penguins, it's puffins. Kind of look. Listen, do puffins fly?
Guys, I screwed up.
Don't say puffin aggressively towards me again. Yeah. What about those puffins?
That was Stephen A. Smith. I'm talking about the puffins.
Oliver Michelle is wishing a happy 43rd birthday to my wonderful wife, Laura. Can she get a D and your penis is too small? And the dirty Germans with any fun topic. Thanks, guys. That from Adam.
She wants a D and she's going to get one.
Yeah, tonight you are going to get a D. And while we're talking about punctuation, I plan on dotting your I.
Yeah.
And crossing your T's.
I just hope all this turtle talk has got you excited to see the turtle outside of the shell.
Mine is a tortoise.
Gentlemen, this will be my first birthday shout out for my 52nd-year-old self since you slackers were off last year on my birthday. Guys, you are the most dedicated, mildly dedicated, talented, thrilling, Mike Hawking sounds of backward fart noises I know. Thanks for all you do. Please give me some dirty Germans and maybe some Mike's bitter batter. Thanks, guys. That from the Lone Hippie.
Betty bought her about some butter, but she said it's butter bitter. If I put it in my batter, make my batter better. So she bought a better butter, put it in her better batter, made her better, so it's better. Betty bought a better butter.
Yeah, speaking of batter that is bitter, I think you'll be experiencing that tonight.
Yeah, it depends on what you eat, so. You know, sometimes you try to... Pineapple, I heard, is very good for batter.
Yeah, I've been eating grapefruit. You will look like a baby sucking on a lemon.
What's grapefruit age?
What do you mean? Oh, the age.
Like, I remember my grandparents, like, they would eat grapefruit, like half a grapefruit in the morning. What is that age?
When the doctor tells you have to. Grapefruit's terrible.
By the way, when we do Dirty Big Dummy on the Men's Room Happy Hour on Thursday, I do have a question about what sperm can be replaced as a food additive.
You mean like if you're cooking and you don't have
need
this?
Something and you don't have that?
I would guess egg whites, maybe. Meringue?
I don't know. There's a binder, maybe?
I mean, none of my guests have noticed.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
God damn, that'd be weird.
Hey, we're out of this. No worries. I'll be right back.
Cool. How much you need?
Oh, you want the egg white sandwich?
Oh, you got it.
This
All
is
right,
the best
guys.
pisco sour I've ever had in my life.
Here you go. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's world famous sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Yes, friends, it's time once again for Sit and Spin. Let's gather around the old radio and listen to some swellerific new music.
Brian Castle in studio, get out of here.
Do you know what the word of the day is today?
What is the word?
What is it?
Grease.
Cheeks.
Cheeks.
Ooh, spread the word. Because it's tax day, brother.
Oh, man.
I thought we were talking about clapping them.
Sorta. Well, but they're yours.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, out.
You are, later on this afternoon, you're headed down to Muckleshoot Casino to check out the venue for Saturday's Men's Room World Tour. Yeah. Very first stop, Saturday 3 to 6.
The world tour starts with a walkthrough, and that is happening. That is happening.
So that normally is a gamble and drinking through for you.
Yeah, but I got a date in the city tonight, so I'm not going to be able to hang out down there super long. I got to be back up here at 6 o'clock and go to the Muse show tonight.
Oh, what a full day!
Yeah, it's a big day.
What a
you know
full
what,
day.
Miles? Every day's a big day. Even tax day.
Yes, it is.
So everybody's good on their taxes. No one's going to prison anytime soon.
No, but it wasn't good.
I don't guarantee that.
Not for taxes.
Yes, not for tax.
Right. Yeah. How did you do?
I got killed.
You got killed.
Yeah, I got killed.
I got killed as well. Not a good year.
I had an apartment that I had owned for a very long time in North Seattle that I finally decided to unload last year, and the tax man came for his piece of that.
Really?
He did.
I had the opposite of that.
It was brutal. I know.
Because we had that place in Baltimore for 18 years, right? They wouldn't give me a break on that thing no matter what. We finally sold it last year. And all the years they didn't give me a break on it, they give you the break in full. I was like, get the F out of here.
I was not so fortunate.
No. I had my arm broken.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Good times.
They hired the mob to do Miles' taxes.
Yeah, it's fun. But look, I mean, if not to get too deep into the weeds, but if I would have reinvested that money, I would not have had to pay taxes on it. But eventually, I would sell whatever asset that was. Eventually, they're going to get their money.
They're going to get it.
So that was a conversation I had with my wife. Like, we can pay it now, we can pay it 20 years from now, but eventually, we're gonna have to pay this bill.
They get paid.
Yep,
no matter what. Always. They get paid.
That's right. But I made some money though, so that's good. Yeah. That's good. And we're going to spend it all at Muckleshoot Casino on Saturday.
That's right.
For the Men's Room World Tour.
Why not?
I'm putting it all on black.
Make
brother.
it back. Make it back on black. Make it back. So today we have 10 songs about paying taxes.
Songs about money and paying taxes. Seeing as it's tax day, we thought we'd do something a little topical today and talk about the man.
Number 10. Money, money, money. Must be funny in the rich man's world.
Now that I'm looking at this list, I think the irony of it is all of these people are loaded rich too.
Yeah, of course.
ABBA, they're probably some of the wealthiest.
They got to have like Paul McCartney money as far as musicians go, for sure. Yeah. So this is ABBA. The song, in case you didn't know, is called "Money, Money, Money."
Oh, ABBA's loaded.
Money.
Right. They are loaded.
More like Forrest Gump said, more money than Davy Crockett.
Yeah, they released a new album, got back together.
Yeah,
they're making even more money.
There's a hologram thing going on.
Mamma Mia made them all that money.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's right.
10 songs about paying taxes.
Money.
Number 9. Spend it while you can. Money's constant.
ain't room but for one thing in everybody's grave, and that's you.
That's his way of telling his kids, you ain't getting S.
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett, as we know, very hard up for cash as well. The song is Carnival World, and the line is, "It takes money to buy your freedom, and the tax man's knocking on your door."
Oh, yeah. All those Margaritaville casinos and waterfront properties and land, Land Shark Lager?
They want the 30.
Land Shark Lager.
It is amazing how much money he has because he's so bad. You know what I mean? Everything he does is successful.
You know what else is bad? A cheeseburger in paradise. Have you been to one of those places?
I have not.
It's not great.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, you know, he helped save Jazz Fest.
What?
In New Orleans.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He's like a...
Don't make me like him.
I watched a special on Jazz Fest. I was like, damn it, I like him now.
God, I've had all these years of hating him. Then he does something like that.
But he's cool and people like him.
So far, we're 2 for 2 on loaded individuals.
Absolutely loaded.
Number 8.
Oh, you're kidding. Who is this?
This is one of Jethro Tull's worst songs.
I will
The
say
flute
this.
should have
Again,
told you.
Ian Anderson, all right?
Grammy winning.
When he, for best metal performance.
Best metal. Yeah. I believe that was 1987, 88. Yeah.
He had a buddy and he took all of his money and he said, you know what we should do? We should do salmon farming in Canada. Jethro Tull owns more salmon farms
You gotta be kidding.
on North America.
Oh,
He's
really?
made more money off of what your wife would consider the devil, of farmed
Not
fish,
necessarily. Well,
than,
yeah.
you know.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, but that's how he made all his money.
Really?
Yeah, he's the salmon king of North America.
I play flute. I'm the Salmon King, bitch.
It's insane. So he's
Jethro
loaded.
Tull, also not broke.
10 songs about paying taxes on Sit and Spin.
Number 7.
Wait for the weekend. I gotta play some one night stands.
Oh, okay.
6 for the tax man and 1 for the band.
Yeah, this is a success story by The Who. Also, hard up for cash usually.
Yeah.
Or at least John Entwistle was.
mean, yeah.
That was his story, right? Like, he would just blow through all of his cash, and then the band would get back together and, like, do a tour or something so he could, fill up his coffers again, and then he'd go out and go nuts again.
But then are you going broke? If it's like, hey, let me spend all of my... It's like living check to check.
Sort of, but your check is like $20 million. Right, $20 million.
Well, the good news is he burned a house down on it. So, like,
Yeah,
he
totally.
spent it all.
Totally. So the line is, I've got to play some one-night stands, 6 for the tax man, 1 for the band.
10 songs about paying taxes on Sit and Spin.
Number 6. I'm on a low budget. I'm on a low budget.
I like this one. Yeah.
I'm not cheap. You understand? I'm just a cut price person.
I don't know how loaded the Kinks are, but they probably got a few bucks.
Ray and Davey are probably doing okay.
They're probably doing all right. I'm not cheap, you understand. I just cut price person on a low budget land. Great.
10 songs about paying taxes.
Number 5.
Taxman's taken all my dough and left me.
You know what?
Boy, the Kinks were not liking the tax man.
They
back
did
then.
not. That's a great song, by the way. Sunny Afternoon by the Kinks.
Could have been a Sunday, too.
Ironic that the song is about a sunny afternoon when he's bitching about taxes.
I know. It was very tongue-in-cheek.
It's a beautiful day, but God, this sucks.
Everything sucks, at least the sun's out.
10 songs about paying taxes on Sit and Spin.
Number 4.
Gotta be rich. Sounds a little funny. Digging a ditch. We're earning lots of money. I do like a fool in my land with milk and honey. Where everything's cool. Provided you have money. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. The song is I'd Rather Be Rich by Chicago.
You don't say.
Peter Cetera, Hard Up for Cash.
Well, the thing about Chicago is they have 900 members.
It's
So
a-
they might-
Yeah, no, that's true. Their money does not go as far.
It's a slim Christmas every year at the Cetera house.
No, it's not.
Number 3.
Welcome to hearts and give you a heart attack. You wanna
Yeah, another broke artist, Billy Joel.
That's because he's constantly paying tickets for DUIs.
Yeah.
In the Hamptons.
Right, just imagine what Billy Joel's insurance bill looks like every month.
Oh, my God.
Damn you, Gecko.
He's what they'd call high risk.
Yeah, right.
It's
Like,
probably a nice car, too.
right. Like, seriously, he's getting popped for Dewey's in the Hamptons.
Right.
Like, I don't feel bad for him.
No. Nobody does. It's Billy frickin' Joel.
I didn't know they pulled you over for stuff like that in Hamptons. You just assumed everybody's rich and can do whatever they want.
But I'm the piano man. And I'm not here all the time.
Tell me more about the microphone smelling of beer, Billy.
I only had half a bottle of red, half a bottle of white. Then I drank hand sanitizer. I don't know these women.
Why does it smell like glue in here?
10 songs about paying taxes.
Number 2.
Pink Floyd, Dying for Cash.
Always hard up. Always hard up. That's why David Gilmour and Roger Waters don't get along.
That's
one of many reasons.
Just fighting over those pennies.
10 songs about paying taxes. We made it to number 1.
Depends on what kind of mood you're in. Sometimes you're craving comedies like Friends or South Park, and sometimes you're more into dramas like HBO's Succession and House of the Dragon. There's also cooking shows like Chopped and Beat Bobby Flay, and even movies like The Lord of the Rings and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Well, Max is the streaming destination that has the best of entertainment for whatever mood you're in anytime. And plans start at as little as $9.99 a month. Max, the one to watch. Subscription required. Visit max.com.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, coming up next, we'll drink and toast for the shot of the day. We do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, a quick take with Mike Hogg and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right. Pardon me. Yes, 1 second here. There we are. So, 31% of people say they have never been in a physical fight.
What?
Good for them.
Well, I mean, not always.
What counts as a fight? I have
being punched in the face.
I've been hit, and I have hit somebody.
You know the people in life that have never been punched in the face based on the way that they treat other people.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Once you get punched in the face, it completely. It's like having a child. It completely changes the way that you
absolutely
act in life and your responsibilities in life and what you choose to pursue and not pursue.
Yeah. I still don't think I could say that I have been in an actual fight.
Have you been punched in the face?
No.
Have you been kicked in the head?
No.
You've never been curb stomped?
No. God, no.
Well, I mean, you've never been kicked in the head and knocked down and somebody kicking your face?
That's not curb stomp.
Yeah, curb stomp.
I mean, that is different.
No, I can say I've never been kicked. I've been in a fight. I've never been kicked in the head.
Yeah, I've been wrestled before. I've been pushed before. I've retaliated with I had a guy that put me in a headlock and I punched him in the gut and that was the end of it. So I've never been in a physical altercation, I guess, technically.
We need to jump Mike tonight.
For real.
I was at a house party and somebody picked up one of those umbrella. They were like a big umbrella holder. That out the door. Swung and hit me in the back with that.
Good God.
Oh yeah.
I was literally telling a story this weekend. I was at a fight or at a party.
The party.
And a massive fight broke out. And luckily it was in my neighborhood, so I could walk home. But I watched somebody, Mike, it was unbelievable. Like 200 kids fighting. But one guy ripped off the gutter and then hit somebody with the gutter.
Jeez. Did it do any damage?
Right? No, it just looked cool.
It looks awesome, but like it's a gutter.
Well, was that kind of point in the fight, right? It was like guys from Greenbelt versus guys from Law.
Didn't Hamilton?
But then, like, you know when bottles are getting tossed? Like, now you need to leave because it's getting chaotic. And then I just remember looking over and I was like, that guy's ripping off the gutter. And he's hitting a dude with it.
Pretty sure Hamill took a gutter to the back in Magnolia one night.
Jeez. There's a company developing...
Mike, real quick, the scariest thing I've ever seen, there was a guy who used to hang out with a high school. He was a monster of a man. Played tight end at Marshall University. All right. We're outside. I don't know what's going on, but there's 3 dudes. He's standing there, and this one guy has a bat, and he swings as hard as he can. And our buddy just takes it in the back and then took the bat from him. And at that point, they knew they were screwed.
All right.
Oh, that's bad news at that point.
Yeah.
My turn.
There's a company developing...
I was in the back like, get him.
There's a company developing glasses that'll subtitle real-life conversations.
So Google glasses.
Right. Pretty much.
Huh.
Well, the technology's already there.
But would they do it like for a foreign language, right? I go out of the country. That could be handy.
Sure. Right. If it actually works that well, you bet.
I'd like to see it for like, I don't know. You ever talking to somebody and they've been drinking or whatever, and they're like, "I didn't say that." We're like, "Let's go to the videotape. Let's
go to the glasses."
I want that progressive red flag so damn much.
The problem is you just can't talk back, even if it is a foreign country. You understand what they're saying? Like, get out now. Like, I'm just going to turn around and start walking.
No, what you do is you hand them your glasses, then make your statement.
Oh, that's a good idea.
There we go.
49% of people would rather do jury duty than their taxes.
Jesus. I mean, I guess it depends on what you do.
Sure.
Like how you file your taxes. Are you married, not married, own houses, own a different property?
I'd rather do my taxes.
Yeah.
I mean, just jury duty, it's like, dude, come on, man. No.
Right. And taxes are annoying just because I would rather they do the way that it was intended, which is just tell me how much I freaking owe. I can appeal this much for the deductions.
The thing is, they already know.
They do.
Because if you fill it out wrong, they tell you. I'm like, well, if you already know this, then why do we have to fill this out?
Right.
I mean, I know, depending on your businesses and all that, there's little things you can do here and there, but inevitably, if you do it wrong, they know.
That's right.
So I'm like, well, if you know that much,
right,
come on.
Tell me how much I owe.
I do have a buddy that ended up getting a great job though because somebody met on jury duty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. On average, people throw away about $63 of groceries every week.
A week?
A week.
Wow. I've gotten much better about that as I get older.
Yeah, for sure.
I buy exactly what I need, and I feel guilty if there's things in there. In my refrigerator now, I've got a piece of salmon that Ryan brought back from Alaska.
Oh, yeah.
I'm eating that tonight because I have to eat that tonight. Bag of salad. I'm going to eat that tonight, so I don't waste it.
And it's becoming a regular thing to look inside the fridge and see, okay, this is going to turn within the next couple days. What can we do with this? Let's make let's make what we intended to make with this.
Or leave it in the freezer.
Exactly.
I just stopped buying the spring mix.
Yeah, you're right. It does go
Out of bad
fast.
salads, I'll eat, but that spring mix, it goes like I'm going to mix my own
Well, if
salad.
you buy three
That's a lie.
bags, if you buy 3 bags, just make that the first night.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that just kind of goes back to us trying to cut back on costs, as it were. And you know what? We do tend to go cheap on a lot of different things as we try to save money, but there are those things that we just can't go cheap on it. We'll go expensive, and that does bring us to
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
10 things people used to cheap out on, but now they swear by the expensive versions. Let's point out the obvious one.
Condoms?
No one wants to have a breakthrough when they're cleaning off the most unclean region of their torso. You don't recover from that quickly.
Yeah, and toilet paper is on the list.
It has to be there, dude.
I've been probably using the same brand for 5 or 6 years.
I've learned my lesson, but I wipe my ass with my own fingers.
Exactly.
In spite of having toilet paper there.
Exactly. It's not that much to go up in toilet paper.
And if you have a bad night or you get sick and you're pooping a lot,
you don't want that single ply crap.
Yeah, that'll rough you up, man. Next thing you know, you got to run home and put on some type of ointment before you go out. It's a Friday afternoon.
That's right.
It's too specific, wasn't it, Mike?
A little bit, Ted. Damn, man. Damn. So these are the things that we used to cheap out on, but now that we swear by the expensive stuff, honey comes in towards the bottom of the list there.
Honey?
Which I don't really mind
do
honey.
you buy honey?
Exactly.
You know, like,
I feel like everybody's got a jar that's been there for like 5 years.
And it starts crystallizing, and you're like, let me use it for something. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I don't spend a lot of money on honey.
You should throw it away, but there's that voice in your back of your head that says, that's actually not expired. It's one of the few foods that don't expire, so just keep it there.
Okay, stop reading my mind, but that's true.
Exactly. If you just pour that lumpy stuff out of that jar, it's like, okay.
Sure.
This stuff did go bad.
Because it's not bad, it just looks weird.
Right. Shoes comes in on the list. I started buying more expensive shoes because I was getting shamed for my shoes, and then I decided, screw the haters. I'm going to buy my Costco shoes. I don't give a damn.
I mean, the older you get, the more important it becomes, but sure. But they're not cheap, man.
No.
You know, honey is one thing. Shoes are entirely different.
Exactly. And hopefully they will be there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
God bless my mother-in-law. She's been up in my shoe game for a while. She and my wife. Been getting better shoes because of them.
My kid's birthday's coming up. All he keeps talking about are shoes. I'm like, listen, dog, your feet keep growing.
Oh, my God, for real.
Yeah, that's
when you stop growing, you have a better shot at this. But like the shoes you want versus their cause versus the fact your feet keep growing, that's stupid to me.
By the way, you're getting a size bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That's what my stepfather told me. What are you right now? I'm an 11. I'm buying you a 12.
Yep, that's it.
Right. We got
And 6 months later, I was fitting into that shoe.
We got to shoot the moon on this one here. Computer chairs is on the list.
Computer chairs?
Computer chairs.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference.
I agree with that one, man.
Honestly, these chairs at work, I love them.
These are great chairs. I do, yeah.
I just don't spend a lot of time on the computer, but I do understand why that'd be important.
Yeah. Like tonight, I'll go home, I'll do my podcast to resume the podcast. And at some point, I'll be like, I gotta wish I had that office chair.
Right.
But you're just gonna roll it out for 1 hour a week?
And man, yes. Honestly, you know what? You can find a spot for a desk chair out there, man.
All right. Well, it's weird because I heard they just lost one here at work.
Weird. Strange. and the security cameras in the garage downstairs were disabled.
Someone covered them with gum.
When a chair stolen?
Oh, yeah.
Damnedest thing I've seen in a minute, man.
Nuts. GM was furious. Tools comes into the list of the things that we used to cheap out on, but now we swear by the expensive version.
Not
certain
expensive,
tools.
but don't buy the bargain brand stuff.
Right.
A vacuum.
Oh, God, yes.
Vacuum actually does come in on the list, and I will agree with that one. Man, muscle up on that vacuum. Yes, it sucks that one-time buy, but doggone it, get that better vacuum.
But it sucks.
Yeah.
I think all that stuff, that's one of those things, too. I think you just get a little bit older and you're just like, all right, you're going to buy something that lasts.
Yep.
Also, like, there's some clothes that are really expensive, but some brands last forever.
Right. Also, I don't want to take time to buy this again.
That's mostly the thing, man.
Honestly, I will go and pick this up now or order it now. I'm not doing this again. Not for at least a decade. So whenever I buy pots, pans, whatever, it's going to last. It better last that long.
Exactly. Coffee comes in on the list, and I will agree with that one wholeheartedly. Man, I did go bargain brand on coffee for a little while there. My buddy VD turned me to Dunkin' Coffee. I got that for a little while. I went to the bargain brand. I went back to Dunkin' with just like, you know what? I have to go back for a second. I haven't looked back since.
Yeah, you're all about the Dunkin'.
That Dunkin' is much better. But I'll still drink crappy free coffee.
Sure. But if I'm buying coffee, I'm getting that Dunkin'.
I'm with, you know what? I'm just like a coffee whore.
Yeah.
It's cheap, cool. If it tastes good, because I can respect good coffee too.
Sure.
But yeah, I've only had one coffee in Montana where I was like, this absolutely sucks.
Syrup comes in on the list.
Like pancake syrup?
Really? Yeah. Says I used to buy the cheap, no-name high fructose corn syrup, and then someone gave a bottle of good maple syrup for Christmas one time.
From Canada, some of those bottles are over $20.
Right. And it's weird. They're not as thick as our syrups. They're a little bit more on the runnier side.
Right.
Yeah, it's because it's actual maple syrup.
Right. And it
But in
actually
the
is flavored.
end, especially in this country, man, we're so used to all the other stuff that even when you have maple syrup, like, it's different, but you don't perceive it as a treat.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're like, hey,
it's
this
an
is
accessory
good,
to these pancakes or this waffle.
I still like Ms.
Or this
Butterworth.
French toast.
Yeah, I was talking to a buddy in London, and his friend was on the phone. We were doing a video chat, and I was like, oh, I'm just eating breakfast. They were like cooking dinner. And his English friend is like, oh, what's it covered in syrup and ketchup? Mm-hmm. I was like, what?
Ketchup?
Yeah, he's like, I thought you Yanks covered everything in syrup and ketchup.
No. My pet peeve on syrup, if you're out at a restaurant, I feel like the syrup should be hot enough to melt the butter.
Right. If you give me cold butter.
If you give me room temperature syrup, I'm like, dude.
Right.
Because it doesn't melt the butter. And you poured like cold stuff on a hot waffle.
Exactly.
I like my syrup hot because it gets runnier.
It does.
I like my hot runny syrup.
Miles is now 78 years old.
Hey, put this back in the kitchen and warm that syrup up, you jackass.
His kids are in town. Kids are in town for one weekend, but he can't take them to that breakfast place.
This soup is too cold.
They got the cold syrup there, kids.
God, I hate cold crap like that.
Oh, God.
Sounds personal.
Pillows and bed sheets on the list of 10 things people used to cheap out on, but now they swear by the expensive versions.
Yeah, but again, you have to make the money for it. It's because that stuff is not cheap. Right. We have one set of quote-unquote good sheets, and the difference between them and the rest of our sheets is great. But when you wash the good ones and you're stuck on the other ones,
itchy.
First of all.
But you don't know until you know, right? Because we all just live with the sheets we have. Then I think we were gifted some very nice sheets. Slept on. I'm like, and this does make a difference, but we kind of looked it up online, and I'm like, I cannot justify spending this much money.
I will not pull dirty sheets off my bed and put clean sheets on. I will take the dirty sheets, pull them off, put them in the washing machine, put them in the dryer. That way I don't have to fold them.
Right.
I hate folding that fitted sheet.
Right.
So I just take those and put them right back on the bed.
Those sheets come off at 8 a.m. and they are back on that bed before you go to bed.
But I heard I should buy, like, there's some cooling sheets. Because I kind of
I've looked at those.
I sleep hot, so I was thinking about getting those.
That sounds nice.
You know what, Miles? I never thought about it, but you're absolutely right. I have like 3 sets of sheets, but when I wash my sheets, I just put them right back on.
There you go.
Yep. Yeah.
But then the number one thing that people used to cheap out on, but now they swear by the expensive version. Delicious, nutritious cheese.
Oh, hell yeah. We have good cheese around here.
We do have a lot of really good cheese.
Tillamook makes great cheese.
I'm a
Butter's makes great
cheese apologist.
Yes.
I love cheese.
Cougar Gold, great cheese.
And I will say this, man. Grate your own cheese.
Yes.
Don't buy the pre-shredded stuff.
Absolutely.
Get yourself a cheese grater, buy the brick, and a Ziploc
with
bag.
the exception of mozzarella.
Agreed.
Because that's really hard to grate.
I figured that.
It
Depends if it's high or low moisture.
Well, also it needs to be like frozen or really, really cold.
Yeah.
If it's high moisture, it is more difficult to grate. Because I've had that experience where you grate it and basically you're just taking off just walls of cheese. But yeah, the drier stuff, good.
A young man attempted to steal from an amusement park and ended up trapped. I'll tell you
was
how.
he trapped?
550. I'll tell you how.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Your headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK.
Hey y'all, it's Garth. I love the country music family. I love the country music family of artists and the country music family of songs. Some of the greatest artists to ever grace music are under the flag of country music. And some of the greatest songs in music history are under the flag of country music. The Big 615, you're going to hear the newest that country music has to offer. At the same time, you're going to hear the newest that the country classics have to offer. I want to hear the new single from George Strait, and I want to hear it right beside the new single from Luke Combs. And I think the country music family is one of those families that is very inclusive and wants both the established artists and the new artists to be side by side in this thing we call country music.
Download the TuneIn app from the App Store. That's TuneIn. And by the way, yes, it's free. You can also ask your device to play the Big 615 on TuneIn.
Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Feeling overwhelmed and unsure what to do next? Look no further. The personal injury attorneys at Phillips Law Firm are here to help. Phillips Law Firm understands that accidents can turn your life upside down. That's why they're dedicated to fighting for the compensation you deserve and to making the process as stress-free as possible. Don't wait any longer. Call now, 1-800-JUSTICE, or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Join me every Thursday at 1 p.m. exclusively on the Odyssey app as we go live with Odyssey. Join in on the action as we cover interesting facts, top 10 lists, and some fun new games. Follow the Men's Room page on the Odyssey app and join in all the fun Thursday afternoons at 1.
Have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is. As usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast Chick-fil-A. That's right. But not the entire company, but a specific location, either in the South or one that is patronized by someone from the South. Rory and Mike Hawk shared this story with me. A female customer recently visited Chick-fil-A to order a grilled club with pepper jack. Quite a fine choice. She did it at the drive-thru. Now, according to her, the employee on the other side of the speaker even commented, quote, "That's cute. You have a lisp when you talk." She was kind of like, damn, but whatever, you move on. Anyway, no big deal. Until she got her sandwich. So if you've ever gotten Chick-fil-A drive-thru, you know there's a label that they stick on there, kind of like Starbucks on the side of your cup. And the label did read, quote, "One grilled club with pepper jack." But next to name, it read Joyth. Her name is Joyth. Joyth.
Joyth.
Her name is Joyce. They asked her name. She said Joyth. The guy had already commented that she had a lisp, so he put it down there anyway. She posted a video where she took it better than most people would, but she still was not necessarily thrilled that that's what they did.
Was that as good as your Outback experience?
What was the Outback?
We go to Outback. The girl has a lisp, and they're talking about all their 17 different ones. And then my Uncle Phil kept asking her every question he could. about sodas. Like anything.
Did she have any idea that he was setting her up?
I don't know. He's just kicking me under the table. I mean, it was, to this day, I'm laughing at it, but it was awful. Because I don't know if you've been to an Outback. I don't know if they still do it. I haven't been to an Outback.
Was it like a 7-spice shrimp or something like that?
Right, and they just have to tell you about all the thievings that are on the steak. Good memory, Miles.
Yeah. Well, Joyce feels her pain.
For fake health burgers.
Do you have 7-Up?
7-Up? No, we have Sprite. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bitona.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Steven, throw those, you please. Tell everyone how Profile This is played.
I sure can.
You're terrible people. We're all going to hell.
I screwed up the toast. I was laughing so much.
We're going to hell.
The toast.
Don't complain. We're all going to hell. Doesn't matter.
So it's a simple game where we share with you a real life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Derek. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, Derek, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, I do.
Fantastic. You have your choice of one of 4 stories. We have the wonderful world of drugs. We have bite me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? Interior decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone. And finally, hit me with your best thought, where you guess the unconventional weapon that someone chose to use as a weapon.
Well, let's go unconventional weapons.
All right.
Hit me with your best shot.
This story is stupid and short, but here it is. We go to Iran, where video footage shows a man confronting 2 women at a store. Now, he was angry at them because they were defying the Iranian law that requires that women wear hijabs. And wearing the hijab is a sign of a woman's willing submission to Sharia law, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they weren't wearing theirs, and they had the audacity to go out in public. Well, this particular man had a problem with this, and he threw something at them. The question is, what did he throw at them in line at the store because they were not wearing the hijabs? Was it a shoe, yogurt, his belt, or a bottle? So shoe, yogurt, belt, or bottle. What did this man throw at these women?
Well, I think I'm going to ask the Ted Smith for a little help on this. I'm looking at yogurt because yogurt sounds really weird and kind of odd.
Where was it at?
In Iran somewhere.
Right, there's a lot of yogurt-based dishes.
For sure.
In that area of the world. But I'm going to go with shoe. Because I know in that area of the world also, throwing a shoe at somebody is very disrespectful.
Very specific. Yeah.
Right, like remember Bush had to dodge one?
Yeah, but he was pretty cat-like.
Hey, the credit to him, he dodged that shoe. So I'm just saying, I feel like this guy got all worked up. I mean, even when they knocked over things of Saddam, different country, just saying that area.
Right.
Remember, people would walk up to the statues and hit them with their shoes. So I feel like that's very specific.
Mm-hmm.
A shoe sounds more like Southern. Like I can picture an old Southern dad throwing a shoe at somebody. I don't know if I can picture somebody from Iran throwing a shoe.
Well, Tim was just telling you there's kind of a cultural thing there.
Right, to let you know.
Derek,
right.
I don't know if you're listening to him or not, but basically what he said was that's a cultural thing that they do there. Not in the South. Florida's different than Iran. So I'm going to go yogurt just because. I think he was working on his probiotics. I think the guy threw
yogurt.
Okay, final answer, Derek.
Yeah, final answer, yogurt.
We're going to find out if it's a shoe, yogurt, a belt, or a bottle next.
That was a tease.
What you watch depends on what kind of mood you're in. Sometimes you're craving comedies like Friends or South Park, and sometimes you're more into dramas like HBO's Succession and House of the Dragon. There's also cooking shows like Chopped and Beat Bobby Flay, and even movies like The Lord of the Rings and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Well, Max is the streaming destination that has the best of entertainment for whatever mood you're in anytime. And plans start at as little as $9.99 a month. Max, the one to watch. Subscription required. Visit Max.com.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, category is hit me with your best shot on profile. This, we've got an Iranian man who confronted two women at a store for not wearing hijab. So
correct.
He basically threw something at their heads. Question is, was it a shoe, yogurt, a belt, or a bottle?
And Derek, that is the very question that we posed to you. Now, you started with D. Ted Smith. D. Ted Smith, you went with the shoe, which makes sense, that part of the Middle East.
Yeah.
It's not just that you're angry, but the shoe says, hey, I'm also showing you great disrespect.
Correct.
Right? That's how deep it goes. However, that was not the case with him.
I'm glad he didn't agree with me then.
But Derek, you and Miles went with yogurt for reasons I can't possibly explain.
Atheos to the face.
But you're correct.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, yeah.
What a waste of yogurt.
I feel like if I'm in the Middle East, I'm within arm's reach of a yogurt dish at any time.
Yeah, I think he was physically in line buying the yogurt, saw them, got pissed, picked it up and threw it at him. Which makes complete sense. Because
I would pick up something other than what I want to eat.
I would grab something out of like the next person in line.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, broccoli. Yeah, I'll throw this at him.
Now for all TV news all time, time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right, your choices today, you got Seth Meyers, the Jimmies,
Fallon Kibble,
Writers,
Writers,
or the Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
That's right there, the title. These guys have teams of talented writers help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Tupperware has warned they're facing bankruptcy, and it's getting sad over there. When asked for comment, the CEO just burped.
The Ted Smith.
Yeah, I'll say you.
That was Fallon.
Tupperware has warned that they are facing bankruptcy. Ooh. It's really gotten sad over there. When asked for a comment, the CEO of Tupperware just burped.
Chihuahua and Orlando.
Easy, man. Easy.
Chihuahua in Orlando just set a new record for the world's shortest living dog. She's 3.6 inches tall, which is odd because 3.6 inches is way better than you would think.
Seth Meyers.
Yeah, I'll say Seth.
Smith!
Yeah, man. No wonder you couldn't get through it.
And I even took a breath in my head. I was like, do not laugh. Read this joke. Netflix apologized after the Love is Blind live reunion was delayed because of a tech issue. And even though they couldn't see the reunion live, Love is Blind fans still managed to fall in love with it anyway.
Fallon?
Myers.
Fallon.
Netflix is apologizing after Love is Blind live reunion. It was delayed due to technical issues. Yeah. Even though they couldn't see the reunion, Love is Blind fans still managed to fall in love with it anyway.
Elon Musk called off the launch of his Starship rocket due to pressure issues, and he made the crew feel safe by reminding them this rocket is still not as dangerous as driving a Tesla.
Myers.
Writers.
Fallon.
Elon Musk called off the launch of his Starship rocket due to a pressure issue. Yep, Elon tried to make the SpaceX team feel better. He was like, don't worry, guys, this rocket's still not as dangerous as driving a Tesla. So, yeah.
All right, is anybody in here in the morning, did you ever watch Get Up on ESPN?
No.
All right, I love this show.
Get on up. Get on up.
It's actually like, because for years, right, ESPN just had Sports Center, and then it was like First Take on ESPN2. But Get Up I like. And it's kind of a cool collection of people. You know, you got old basketball players, old football players, Greenberg's running it. Greeny, as they call them. Mm-hmm. But they also kind of let loose, right? It's a little more fun and this and that.
Sure.
And also, like, I don't mind listening to, like Ryan Clark, right? Famous for being a Pittsburgh Steeler, defensive back.
Yep.
But, like, he'll talk about any sport. He'll talk about basketball and this and that, which I think is kind of cool.
You always forget that athletes, generally speaking, like every other sport.
Yeah. Yeah, like right, Ryan Clark has a show called RC and DC with Dana Cormier. Just because he's such a fan of UFC and he's in DC was such a good champion and stuff, they just do a show about it.
All right, cool.
I mean, if you're a fan of something, you're going to give your opinion.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and over the years, right, I think it was I can't think of his name now. The famous sports broadcaster, Monday Night Football, cigar smoking, kind of crazy dude.
Howard Cosell?
Cosell. He was the first one to kind of bring up the jockocracy, as he called it.
Okay.
That, like, nowadays, you're right. It's almost like people do it on the internet all the time, right? Mina Kimes. Like, people will call her out and be like, well, she never played football. How she knows? It's like, well, she's a fan of the sport. She studies it. And a lot of sports reporters and all that stuff, like, you might have played, Little League baseball. Like, look, I talk about baseball all the time. I mean, I stopped playing when I got to high school. So you could be a fan of that. Yeah. Right? You could be a fan of something and still know a ton about it.
Music, politics.
You and VD haven't been to space.
We have not.
You guys know a ton about it.
Don't rub it in.
Right. Well, I saw Charles Barkley in the midst of the NBA playoffs and everything else. He had a very long interview today, and I followed the Ravens stuff, obviously, about Lamar Jackson and his contract. He does no contract stuff. He's talking about that, but I listen to Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on this?
So Get Up, I like. They have experts on from everything else.
Up,
and then
stand up.
Actually, and then because of the pandemic, there was a time there where everybody was just going in on video calls. But now I like it because, like, some of the experts, when they're out of town, they could still video call in and be on the show.
Yeah.
So
Adam Schechter.
Right. So Brian Windhorst is a basketball guy. You've probably seen him on TV, this and that. So Get Up, again, starts at, I guess it's 5 a.m. out here.
Jesus, dude.
It's right, because it starts on the East Coast.
Yeah, I get. That's why I haven't seen it.
So they replay it on the Deuce, too. So he's in Arizona. So after he does one of his segments, the guy hosting has a couple questions for him.
Wendy, that's why I'm playing injured. I'm trying to figure out, why are you the only one whispering? Everyone else is answering questions and talking. You're whispering. Why are you whispering?
Well, we all have adverse situations, and apparently someone in the hotel room next to me was not a Get Up viewer and not happy about the early wake-up call here in Phoenix. And let's just say that messages have been delivered not in a soft manner. I'm trying to avoid having a wrap on any part of my body.
Did the hotel manager tell you, knock on your door and say, quiet down in there?
This individual did not contact the manager, but their point was made very strongly. So I'm trying to respect my neighbors here in Phoenix before 7 a.m. here.
Thank God.
Tell them to turn on Get Up, man. I don't know why.
You got backup coming, Wendy. We got you, brother.
Just the way he says that. They did not call security.
No,
they made their point very clear.
Some big dude came over. Yo, man, I know you're on ESPN. Wake my ass up again and see what happens.
Well, you know how it is. If you're pissed off, the guy next door is being loud at 7 a.m. And if you don't watch that, right? Like, honestly, I don't know enough about the NBA to know him as an NBA insider, but I watch Get Up enough that I would recognize him. But if you didn't, you just be like, I don't care.
Within
exactly, you're right. You're
within 100%. A block of me is a building that's going up that's probably 6 stories.
All right.
The framers are still doing their work. They start at 7. Boom, 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 boom. But there's 20 of them. Boom, 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 boom. I'm like, God, could you please frame this place out? Please. I know you're allowed to start at 7, but my God, man, it wakes me up every single day.
Bro, we have the light rail. They go 24/7. At 3 in the morning, you wake up, they're doing something.
I know. It's like, guys, I know you're working fast. I'm glad you're there early. God almighty, you're killing me.
But the flip side, too, is
killing me.
They can ask you, do you think I want to be here at 7 a.m.?
Mm-hmm. No, they don't.
Doing this.
I'm in bed, and they've already been dressed and driven to work and are doing a real job. Here I am bitching about it in bed, but I'm still like, oh, my God.
Well, it depends on your work schedule, too.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people, almost everybody I know that does construction, they can't wait to start. Like, when I was a landscaper, right, Bernie would pick me up, sometimes before the sun came up, and we would sit parked outside of a house, because you just want to bust through the day.
Okay, all right.
So if you have to wait till 8 o'clock on the dime, you're gonna fire up those mowers.
Right.
So I think that's the same thing. Like, trust me, last summer I was spending the night at my buddy's house, going to a festival the next day, and he said, hey, these guys are working on the roof. I told him 8. And I swear to God, it was like clockwork. 7:45, you could hear him climbing around, and then at 8.
8, boom, 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 boom.
I would say good contractors show up.
They do.
We were redoing the kitchen, man. These guys can't start till 8. 7:45, sure enough. They were sitting in the driveway. They would not do anything before then. The problem is, for 15 minutes, my dog lost her mind.
Oh, yeah. Your dog's not happy with anybody out there.
It's just like, oh, my God. Guys, please just go. Hey, man, we can't start yet. You don't have to start. You need to be in my home so that the dog shuts her goddamn mouth.
Well, and that's always that weird thing, too, right, Miles? I'm sure you're going through it. Like, you hear them, It's like, I don't want to get up. I'll just try to fight through it and lay here. But you can't.
You can't.
You just,
No, once you're around,
you twist around for like 15 minutes and
realize,
go, screw it.
And you're like, okay, I'll get up and pee. And
All right.
You go pee, and then you realize you got to go poop.
Yep, happened to me this morning. So there's been a lot of report. I know. I hate it when like I'll just sit here for a minute and I get back in there. So there's been a lot of reports about Yellowstone ending.
All right.
Well, now so-called sources are saying the show will end after the second half of season 5. Season 5 was only like a half season.
Okay.
Which, honestly, I really liked Yellowstone. I think you can end it. Like, it's one of those things, too, where, like, it's gone pretty far now. You know, it's like
before you get ridiculous, bring it to an end.
Right. To me, it's already gotten kind of ridiculous. But they're saying it's going to end mainly because Kevin Costner can't get along with the show's creator, Taylor Sheridan. But it sounds like it's not Kevin's fault. Another so-called insider says, quote, Taylor is the star of his show. He's the most important person on all of his shows.
So make a spin-off as Jellystone and have Yogi Bear. There. Hey, boo-boo.
So here's the deal, though. The first half of season 5 ended in January. So I'm all caught up. They haven't even announced when the second half will air or if it started filmed.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right? And remember, they had like Yellowstone Con or whatever. I don't know what you'd call that. Cowboy Con. Whatever
Yellow
it was.
Con.
This guy and Costner pulled out day of. And again, people paid $500 tickets. So apparently they don't like each other enough to even sit on stage and do that.
I get it, but it's your fans. You know, you don't have to like each other. Can you just sit next to each other, right? My wife does it with me all the time. She doesn't have to like me, but we still just sit next to each other.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, there's just times you're sitting there, or you're in the same room with somebody,
and you want to kill them.
Yeah. I mean, let's say you're fresh off a breakup, right? The last thing you want to do is be sitting in the same room with that person. But you just kind of suck it up or whatever. So I'm with you. For Costner and that guy, it's like, well, there's other stars of the show there, but I just can't get over that. People plop down $500 and you couldn't show up. Just like, well, there's enough of them there.
That's a lot of money to put that. And they specifically did it to see you, which I would think would be a flattering thing. I know you're a big-time movie star and all that, but again, think about it. Someone spent $500 specifically, not even to meet you, but to sit in the room where you talk about a particular project that they have determined is important to them.
It might explain his absence, but it doesn't excuse it.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, I get it, but they both.
God, you can tell you're a father. Well, that explains it, but it doesn't excuse.
I mean, one of them could have showed up if they hate each other, but they both didn't. Right. And if you don't recognize his name, he's the guy that ran the Fives down in Texas, so he's always a part of the show too.
Okay,
which is funny because that character is one of my favorite characters on the show. Playoff season is among us. Yeah. I was watching some NBA playoffs last night. I know the Mariners are still playing, but the most important thing, the Seattle Kraken tonight, ESPN, I want to say 7:10, taking on the now defending Stanley Cup champions, the Avalanche from Colorado.
Yeah. Whatever. You can't stop someone with a skate, Ted.
You can't.
That's the difference in the NBA and the NHL.
I don't think Draymond should have got thrown out. But if you're a Kraken fan, I don't know what you do. And there's a lot going on in the city tonight, right? There's concerts and this and that, but that's the first ever playoff game for your team. I highly suggest you watch it if you can. And it should be fun, man. Look, NHL playoff hockey is dope. If you've never really been a hockey fan, you are now because of the Kraken. Watch that intensity level just crank up and crank up.
The bar that I go to will have 5 screens of hockey on. In the corner, a small television with a Mariner game.
Yeah. I also want to mention Deadliest Catch on Discovery. That's the 19th season premiere tonight as well.
Damn, 19.
I know.
That's crazy.
It is. Shout out to my man Keith.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. A woman is employed at Buffalo Wild Wings. Really, really, really wanted a day off of work. $440 million, $300 million in cocaine confiscated in Italy, officials said with a smirk. Bear in BC breaks into a car and drinks 69 cans of Coke. Zookeeper saves a panda with a Heimlich maneuver, and that is no joke. And a pizza delivery driver opens up a can of Kung Fu on a car thief. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
All right, our top story, we go to North Carolina where a young man's theft attempt was thwarted before it even began. He was enjoying a day at Carowinds Amusement Park when he found an opportunity for some free toys in the area known as, wait for it, Steve,
Thrill Zone.
Yeah.
The claw machine, not quite old, rather, the claw machine that was in there in the Thrill Zone. That threw me off. All right. Not quite old enough to do the old arm reach into the machine. He resorted to do what he was the proper size for, climbing right into the device. This unfortunately led him to being trapped inside the machine, needing assistance from park officials in order to free himself. He was given a quick medical examination after his release, and it's not clear whether or not any further action was taken by the park. The fact that this kid's like 13 years old, I doubt it.
I can't believe a 13-year-old would fit.
I mean, I get some of those machines are bigger, but also, like, that's not in the spirit of the claw machine.
No, it is not.
Called cheating. No, Ted, it is not. You're correct. He wanted something in there bad, though.
He did. And the thing is,
they had the big prize, too.
Well, forget just stuffed animals, but there's claw machines that'll have, like, watches in them.
The big prize. The big prize.
Right. So, yeah, there is that. In other news, we go to Pennsylvania, where a bystander became the hero. Surveillance footage was shown of a Good Samaritan aiding police officers chasing a suspected car thief. The footage comes via Ring camera from the home of the bystander was at work for as a pizza delivery man. He's about to hand off the delicious pie when he hears the chase approaching the neighborhood street. He looks on as the stolen car comes to a stop, quickly followed by officers, as the suspected thief bails out of the car and takes off on foot. As the thief is about to elude officers, with pizza still in hand, the delivery man brazenly sticks out a foot, tripping the suspect, giving officers the opportunity that they needed to apprehend the suspect.
But I will say this from the comments that I read on Twitter. It was amazing how he kept the pizza box flat while doing it, and even after the fact, when he kind of tried to readjust his body. He kept that box level, like a waitress coming over bringing you 9 pints of beer.
See, I saw this video and was like, he had time to hand off the pizza first.
He did.
That's my issue. You're right. He kept it pretty flat, but like, just give it to the person that ordered it. You're right there.
Exactly. And you're not wrong. Like, he was literally about to hand it off, and then he almost reeled it back in to turn around and look at what was going on.
Yeah, I just know if there's a pizza guy on my doorstep, the money, it's already been paid for on a card, and he pulled that move, I'd be like, no, come back here.
Give me the pie, damn it.
Yeah.
Don't go chasing after him yet.
Right, like Bruce Wayne goes to work and made the money. Then he's Batman. All right, you can stop crime later. Give me my pizza, dude.
Sign the contracts, then go play Batman.
Right. Also, I don't know why that annoyed me so much, but obviously it did.
I feel it, Ted, because you know what? That's your friggin' pizza in his hand as he's going out there playing Cape Crusade.
Good Samaritans. Love it.
That's right. I just like the idea of that being at Ted's house, and all he's doing is sitting there screaming. You just hear him screaming at the pizza guy, dude, give me my pizza.
Give me the
What
pizza.
about my pizza, dummy?
Give me my pizza.
Well, there's a certain place in town, Pagliacci. I love their pizza.
Sure.
They do a very good job of, like, presenting the pizza and telling you it's your
Opening
order.
it up. And
Yeah.
Look at it. Is it good for you?
I've clearly been guilty on Saturday nights after a couple of pops, and it's like I'll just take it.
I believe you.
Give it to me, damn it.
Storming.
You guys have never screwed me over.
And you got here in 25 minutes.
Right, like, you're one of my favorite companies in town. Like, can I just have the pizza?
Wasn't like I was waiting that long.
Man, I admit that I get frustrated with Dairy Queen because I know that their whole thing is like, ooh, look at that, the spoon's still in, it's upside down.
Do they do it every time?
They still do it every time. I think they have to do it, man.
Yeah, well, I think the same thing. The delivery driver has to show you your pizza.
Right? Because, I mean, the employees always look unenthusiastic when they do it, like, because they just want to hand it out just as much as you want them to.
Yeah.
Freaking A, man.
It would be kind of awesome if one of them fell out.
I'm still waiting for that date.
Oh, damn it.
To their credit, though, I've had a Blizzard last summer, and I was like, God damn, these are good.
They're still fantastic.
Yeah.
That price tag's going up. Our own Ted Smith is the only member of the show to perform the Heimlich maneuver.
Correct.
Twice even, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But Ted, have you ever considered performing it on an animal?
Maybe a small dog.
A video is making the rounds online of a panda breeder that swept into action when one of the pandas in his care started choking on a piece of carrot. Would you swoop into action for a panda, Ted?
I would.
For a little panda bear?
Yeah.
The handler slaps the back of the animal and grabs tufts of the fur to shake and eventually lift the 500-pound bear to eventually dislodge the vegetable. And as with pandas, it continued about its life like nothing had ever happened. The thing is, Miles, you made the most perfect statement about pandas just months ago. They're not even real. They just look like they're just...
No.
confused little animatronic bears.
There's a reason they're only in sanctuaries.
Right.
Because in the wild,
on their own, they will go extinct.
I guess there's no natural predators to them in China.
Right.
I don't know.
And that's the problem, is that, yes, they are technically still a bear. They still have the power of the bear. They still have...
Weren't they related to raccoons, I believe?
I think
they're
we
not
do get that.
actually a bear, yeah. Either way, it's giant.
Right.
They're not actually a bear?
No, it's not really a bear. It's related to like raccoons and something else, but they're very, very stupid.
They just look like giant toddlers.
And for the most part, docile.
Yes.
All right, it's kind of like it's kind of like hippos. They're too big to have too many predators, but jackals, snow leopards, and yellow-throated martens will prey on their kids.
What is a yellow-throated
yellow-throat?
A scared one.
Right.
Snow leopard sounds like a cocaine dealer.
It does. I'm the snow leopard.
Snow leopard, you dig? Or like a hot, famous chick from Instagram.
I would follow
Snow
her.
leopard.
Yeah, but she's pasty.
If you just said, hey, look at this picture of snow leopard, I'd be like, all right, cool, I bet she's hot.
People do like the pasty tattooed women.
Well, yeah.
They do.
And on that note, that is it for your headlines with that. Go Kraken! My hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of Who Sucks Less. Lovely Taryn Daly's up next.
Yes, indeed. It is all true, but in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch for 180 seconds or so. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.